It's again Sunday night, time for a street fight. We're taking your calls. That number to dial is 614-655-3887. All the street fighters have been waiting because that call queue is completely full right now. I'd maybe wait until next week at this point. But thanks for the excitement. We're glad to be back. My name is Ren. My co-host is Stimpy. We're Street Fight Radio. You don't like my childhood cartoon reference?
It's not my favorite thing, but it's okay.
Sure. Thanks for being here. It's been a while since we've done the show, the call-in, and we are glad, like I said, to have all y'all here watching. You can watch the show on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or Twitch. You can find us. There's a big unified chat, too, where everybody starts talking. And even in the Discord, there's now a live stream channel. So plenty of places to get involved with the show. Give it a listen. Talk to other cool people. See what's up. Thanks for being here. If you want to support the show, you can do that through Patreon. And we haven't done this in a while, and I wanted to do it. But, you know, we don't do advertisements. We don't tell you to buy things or use promo codes and shit with our name. We offer things. But Grubhub is a terrible fucking service. And after we went and did the tour and some recent experiences with it, nobody wants warm food that's really fucking sweaty. And I wouldn't use Grubhub. I would find a better option or just eat a box of Pop-Tarts instead.
Yeah, eat a box of Pop-Tarts, man. I don't like Grubhub either. I try to rarely use it.
Yeah.
But if I'm hungry, I just got to do
Got
what I
to.
gotta
Sure.
do.
I understand. I understand.
Get that sweaty food.
I don't want to... So that's the anti-ad. This isn't an ad, but when we were in Massachusetts, where was Privateer Rum at?
Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts, we went to the Privateer Rum place. Dylan showed us around. Thank you for that. So tonight I'm enjoying some of the single batch spirit, their distiller's drawer True American Reserve rum, and it's fucking delicious. I love it.
Yeah, I got some for my wife, and she's a big fan of it.
Yeah,
so
it's not
good.
It's not like corny ass like Captain Morgan's. Like, you don't put fucking Coca-Cola on this shit. It's for real rum drinkers that are like pirates and talk like a pirate day.
Real rum.
Yeah,
real rum
minutes. I just destroyed the brand. That's why you don't want to pay me to do ads.
Yeah, don't ever.
I don't want to tie them to talk like a pirate day.
Yeah, don't do that. We don't like that. So we are back. We are back in Ohio after a long layoff here, about 3 weeks. I just want to say, because I have received a lot of emails and a lot of DMs, we are aware of what is going on Reddit, on our subreddit, and we haven't brought it up. I don't want to talk. I'm not going to spend time talking about it, but I will say that this person is welcome to contact us and get help, but you can't threaten moderators in our groups with suicide and like just get to do it. We're a welcoming community, but I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
We're not psychologists. We're not psychiatrists. We're not trained helpers. We offered help,
and we
they
do believe in
didn't take
that.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to call the police. So there's nothing we can really do. And if that person accepts, whatever we can do to help them, I mean, if it's money, we can probably figure that out. Then then we're more than willing to do it, but there's nothing we can really do about it. We're going to be paying attention on the chats in our live shows, and we're going to be paying attention to the callers on the phones. And we don't want anything to happen that would jeopardize the mental health of the people that listen to this show or the moderators in any of our groups. And we know what's going on. We're aware of it. We're just trying not to. This is the last time I'm talking about it. And this is it. And on to the fun shit now.
Yeah. Started on the Discord. We're definitely pro therapy and pro getting help from outside people. Having a brain is a terrible disorder, and you really should get someone to spot you while you do your thinking. So I suggest reaching out to professional help.
Right. All right. Well, we're back. Ready to take your calls.
Yeah.
We're going to take some calls. We're going to chat with some people. I feel kind of weird right now. Like, weirdly anxious. I have, like, anxiety. I think I'm going to go eat one of those CBD gummies and see if that brings me down or not.
Smart.
I don't know. I wonder if people can even hear it in my voice because I feel it, like, in my voice. Like, I'm very weird. If anybody wants a peek inside my dumb, anxious brain, I don't eat during the day very much, and if I start to feel lightheaded from not eating, if I start to shake, if I start to feel nauseous, if I start to sweat, it'll send me into a spiral of panic that would just eat me alive. And I'm currently in the middle of that, and I'm trying to make it go away. I hope to be very funny tonight. Usually when I'm performing, I can get over it pretty quickly. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll be great.
I'm trying. I'm going to try.
I'm rooting for you.
Thanks for rooting. Yeah, well, I would imagine you're rooting for me. You're sitting across the table from me carrying half the weight.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could watch you go down and be fine.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So, I'm okay, though. I'm okay. I don't want people to think that I'm like, my panic attacks have, like, started picking up over the past couple months.
About what?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. And they just come out of nowhere. They just really, I'm medicated for them. And, but nothing's situational. I can't, like, there's not a Xanax I can take. There's not an Ativan that I can take to come down. I just kind of have to naturally come down because my doctor doesn't believe in that stuff. So I basically just have to figure out how to come down. And unfortunately, it just so happens that I hadn't had one in weeks, and then I got one hour before I had to be on the air. So,
okay,
we'll see, you know?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of listeners that have panic attacks.
I for sure know that, too.
You know? And I have them. I'm normal. It's normal. It's fucking totally normal to have panic attacks.
Completely.
But crazy. It's not crazy to have a panic attack. It's weird and scary. And when you're 40, I had assumed that they would go away, you know? Because I had felt like they were going away for a long time. Like, it's not really happening anymore. But for some reason, I don't know. I've been hitting them again. Like, they were really heavy when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. And I just chalked that up to, like, figuring out how to grow up.
Yeah.
But now I'm 40, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe...
Well,
something's happening. I don't know. I don't ever, I go to the doctor every 6 months. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a constant struggle against it. I mean, you think you just have to establish, a sort of a protocol when those things happen, like when you feel that way, kind of know how to shut it down. That's what I've been working on really is just figuring out, like, if I start getting angry, like how to stop like throwing fuel into the fire, or like being depressed and then just being like, okay, well, am I going to go on this hike and be really depressed, or am I going to go on this hike and just fucking enjoy the hike? Like I have to make a choice. I can't just I can't be on autopilot. You can't, because, unfortunately, like at a very young age, we develop these like ruts or these like continuous patterns that will keep replaying if you just go on autopilot. If you let your natural inclinations take over, it's going to be the self-destructive relive your trauma shit. So you have to be like on active duty, you know.
I'm crazy self-destructive too. That's the other thing. Is like when it comes to what goes on in my head, it's almost never positive. So it's like, I let it get a hold of me. I let it grab me.
Yeah.
And I let it take a day away from me, and then I usually come back the next day. I don't know what happened today.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a lot to deal with, and but it's just really mitigating like the crashes and shit. Like not having one and having it like blow up everything. Like not like canceling the show and not like saying I'm not going to be able to make it, and just leaning into it and letting it like ruin your plans, but saying readjusting and figuring out what works for you.
I mean, that's why I came, and I was like this with work too. When I worked at the cable company, I was like, I'll go, and I guess once I start working, either it's going to stop or it's not, but I'm
Yeah.
going to be doing something.
Right,
So
right.
that's what I'm doing tonight. I was just like, it'll probably stop, probably chill out after a few minutes. Who knows? I'm feeling okay. Don't worry about me, please.
Yeah. Let's get some. You want to get some calls?
Well, let's get these calls on the air.
Is it 630 for the first one?
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to blow up his spot too, because.
I'm sure there would be people that would love to have.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for calling Street Fight Radio.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? Is this Nick?
Yeah, this is Nick Hayes.
Hi, Nick
How are you
Hayes
guys?
from Means TV. How are you?
I'm great. I just got back from New York. I'm like back in the Midwest, and that feels great. And I got to hang out with a bunch of really nice people in New York. Like I met Jake Flores for the first time, and now he's a super nice guy.
Yeah,
I think
great
he's
time.
Brett's favorite person in the world.
yeah, he was incredible. You get to go? Did you go to his place?
Yeah, it's very cool. What did you guys get up to out there?
Well, his place. So like, I don't know if I said it where I said it, but he lives inside of an old factory that's just been taken over by an illegal renting company that just started renting out, built places in there. Every inch of it is covered in fucking graffiti. And then it opens up into Jake's place, and it looks like this amazing apartment from Friends. It's fucking incredible. I thought we were going to be sitting on like a pile of fucking cans, like I thought we were going to be doing the show from a Papasan chair. I was so worried, and like he had his shit together so well that I was just like, I fucking love this guy. He's like so fucking on point,
Yeah, and he's also a lot more anarchist than we are. His living situation is a lot more anarchist than me and Brett's living situation.
He has the title. He has the anarchy title. No way. I pay rent to a fucking square-ass landlord that pays taxes and shit. That motherfucker's doing like an illegal squat right now.
I'm eating crickets, Nick.
What kind of crickets?
Taco-flavored crickets. Brett's had them down here for a while, and I'm a little shaky, and I'm thinking it might need protein, maybe?
Yeah, that's great.
So I'm going to eat these crickets because apparently there's a lot of protein in them. But they are definitely crickets.
They might make your stomach a little... It might make your stomach a little uneasy, man. I don't know.
No, it's...
you don't want to be experimenting.
It's all fiber. It's like scrubbing bubbles on your insides.
Yeah.
It's fiber and protein.
Well, in that case.
I mean, all I had for dinner was fucking lo mein with like broccoli. Like it was just a bunch of stuff without calories and then noodles. So maybe that's why I feel so weird inside right now. And I feel like I need to do something about it. So I'm gonna eat these disgusting looking crickets.
They're
that
great.
Have been sitting on a table down here for like 3 weeks.
They taste like Doritos.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Ugh. Okay.
Sold.
How's Means TV going? What you need, listeners, if you have any extra money, go. How do you get to the fundraising site, Nick?
Means.media has a fundraising portal, and then you can also go to the Action Network, like Let's Build Means TV link, which we have on our Twitter. But that's what Means TV is going great. We're in our 4th week now. We're rolling out videos. You guys are going to be in this week. The fundraising is going great. We've raised over $50,000 so far for this like Netflix like streaming platform, and we're trying to raise like $500,000. So we need all the support we can get.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Everybody's been really cool.
Yeah, I was trying to tell everyone in New York. I was talking to Chapo and like everybody else and explaining the way that like you had things set up with. Like the people you had in Austin and like print shops and like the whole like horizontally organized nature of the business. I don't know if people fully understand that. So could you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, totally. So we're a worker-owned cooperative business. So basically, anybody who is like a full-time would be considered a full-time employee at any other company. After a certain amount of time, they get brought into the co-op with a share of like quarterly profits, as well as equal say, like voting power in the company as me or Naomi or anybody else who works here.
I get voting power in the company at some point?
So as an entertainer, you get residuals basically. So as like right now, the way it would be is if you were hiring like an editor or somebody who's working full time at Means TV, within a period of time they become a worker owner, right? But for entertainers, we're going to have basically a pool of profit, so that if your content's on the platform, and I know I've talked a little bit about this with you guys, but if you guys have videos right on Means TV, then you would be getting paid a percentage of profit that the total platform brings in through a residual model, which is kind of like more traditional for like paying entertainers and people appearing on screen and stuff.
And we do have stuff on Means TV, or will when it's out. We have a lot of cool stuff, actually, that is lined up, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys, yeah. So right now we've been rolling out videos with Street Fight Guy, like you guys talking about, like workplace hierarchy, capitalism. And then for the main platform, we have all sorts of live shows we're working on with you guys, like animated shows, like improv comedy shows. Like there's all sorts of stuff in development for the actual streaming platform we're trying to raise money to fund.
That fucking rules. I can't wait to see the animated stuff. Makes us look really funny when you animate our stuff.
There's an animated one of you guys dropping this week. So that rules.
Hell yeah. These crickets. Not very good.
Yeah, how are the crickets?
He just he almost barfed. I think he's gonna barf.
Yeah, man, I feel like they'd be really dry, dude.
They are dry.
If you mix them up with some peanuts and cashews, they're a real delight.
But I'll tell you what, I feel less dizzy.
Yeah, that's the power of crickets.
Well, it's not the crickets, dude. I think it's the protein.
You ate their energy. You harnessed their energy.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm afraid my dookie's going to have crickets in it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to have a nice hefty doo-doo. It's going to clear. Those crickets bring everything out with them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, good thing I got a bidet now.
Did you eat the whole bag?
Almost.
Dude, you're a baller. I respect that. So many people are like afraid to do that and are just faking it, when they're like, I like weird food,
Yeah. Oh, I don't like them, but I'm going to eat the whole bag. They taste fun. You know what it is? It's like you bite them, and it's like eating a chip,
Yeah.
But it's a fucking cricket, and all you can think in your head is, this is a bug.
No, you got to get past the head stuff.
I can't, though. You know that about me. My head
It
never
tastes like
stops.
Fritos. It tastes like fucking Fritos.
That's true. It does. It does. I mean, if there's two people in this world that know that my head never stops thinking negative things, it's you and Nick.
I know, I worry about you. How's the bidet going, though? That seems like a shining beacon of, like, hope and light in your life right now.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Back in the early days of Street Fight, there was things where I would be like, God damn, man, I'm never going to feel, like, realized or successful or, like, I'm never going to feel good about what I do. I'm always, like, going to feel bad about what I do. And, like, in the past year, so on my birthday, there was a dinner that I went to. And my dad looked at me, and he asked me when we're going to play Toronto, which is what he asks me every time he talks to me. But then after that, he was like, we had just got back from L.A. We had just done this sold-out show in L.A. And my dad looks at me, and he's like, you know what, Brian? I'm proud of you. And I was like, holy shit. And it hit me like hard. Like, holy shit, my dad's proud of me now. But then the bidet was something that I had heard a ton of people talk about. Jack Allison has one. And I had heard so many people talk about it. And I was like, I want one of those. And the fact that I was able to be like, I want one of those and get one makes me feel like really good about myself.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just not something that I would have spent money on in the past, right? Like, it's just something that I would have sat around and said, oh, I wish I had that so my hole was more clean. But, like, now, I went and I got it and I'm using it and I feel powerful.
Yeah, as a child, I thought bidets and sushi were out of my reach as a young man from the dirt.
You want to hear something weird, though? Somebody on Twitter really actually called me gay. because I got one, which is like not a big deal these days. But I just thought it was so weird that like in 2019 a person,
they're old school.
Yeah, a person would say that, and you're like, well, first of all, that's not like really doesn't affect me if you think that, but also I'm like really just trying to have a clean asshole.
Yeah, I want to say also, just to jump this in there, sorry, I don't want to make like the Means TV thing about toilets, but if you want more Means TV content, I will go on TV and tell young men to take a washcloth and wash their asshole, like touch their asshole in the shower. Because I've been reading some horrible things online about young men that are afraid of being clean, and you have to touch your own asshole to be a grown-up.
Right.
You have to clean it yourself. But some people don't know, and maybe, we need like a Jordan Peterson of the left, and that will be us.
But here's the thing about Means TV.
I'm not afraid. I'll show people. I'll show people I'll wash my asshole on stage in front of everybody.
Brett will be the Jordan Peterson of the left. I can tell you that is his dream. And he wants to do that. So, but here's something about Means TV that I want people to understand, or because we keep saying without them, or that if you fund Means TV, you get more Street Fight stuff. Like, we're not even just talking about our shows, like our live shows that Nick has recorded. There's one with WrestleSplania that is just incredible. And there's one with Chapo that is about Satan that's really cool. But we have like ideas that if this thing gets funded, we're going to be able to like carry out that are like really neat. I'm not going to say any of them on the air, but like there's some really cool like sketch ideas and shit like that we've come up with that honestly we're all just waiting till we can
I just don't
make them happen.
Yeah, I've dreamed of doing this stuff forever. Brian and I wrote all kinds of sketches and all kinds of video content a fucking decade ago, and we just haven't had like the budget and the camera work and the know-how. And Nick is like the fucking amazing at it, and he's just like a little kid too.
No,
he's a fucking kid, man. Like seriously, when I was his age, I was like,
That's true though. When I was Nick's age,
that's why I have to surround myself with like extremely competent women like Naomi and Sarah. Like that's the only reason Means TV is like successful, is because there's women like Naomi and Sarah like keeping it moving.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
If they weren't there, you would still be driving around the country with us, getting kicked out of hotel.
Right, it would be very unfocused. Yeah, exactly. But it's like God.
Well, it's so incredible.
There's so many like sketches we want to do, and like so many, so many different funny things we want to shoot, and like, man, like I'm really excited to do all that stuff with you guys.
And I think it's so incredible that like, and this is just me being serious for like a minute, that like Nick did a lot of the first live shows with us, like a lot of the very early stuff, where we were only doing one a month and we weren't touring, and we were figuring out how to do them and what our chemistry was. Like, Nick was there. He was an important part of the thing. And I'm going to say this, and whenever I say this, it makes me sound like the worst person in the world. He's the easiest person I've ever worked with because he disappears. It's incredible.
Baby.
It was great. Like he went to the Juggalo March with us. Like so many things that I admire what you do, especially at your age, because like I said, obviously like, things like this weren't around when I was 21, but like I wasn't even like looking to do anything good when I was 19, 20, 21. Like I was fucking looking for a job at a utility and doing acid every night when I was 21, which I know, Nick, you would like to do that too, but
yeah, I mean, it's just too much. Like, it's like you guys are too funny. Like, Trillbillies are too funny. Like, Sarah June is too funny to not have somebody there to like help organize some media around you.
Yeah, man, but we should.
That's like.
We should set up a time in a cabin to do acid or something. You need to take a break and not work so hard all the time. You should take some acid time too.
Let's do it. I would love to do acid with you guys. That'd be a very positive experience.
You are really right about like a lot of us like do this stuff. And you know, a good example of this, I was actually talking to Will about it when we were in New York. We all were talking about this, but like a lot of people say, you know, you guys should make your own Patreon and then combine a bunch of the shows together and then make it a cheaper subscription fee than like all the shows separate. And it's like, but like none of us have the skills to do that. Like there's all these people that do have mutual respect and like working with each other and are willing to work with each other.
You want to do legendary shit.
And they want to like create a huge thing. Like we want to create like a cultural... I want to usher in a new era of comedy. I know that sounds like a fucking grandiose thing to say, but it's like what I want to do. And if nobody's there like taking this stuff and compiling it and putting it in one place where people can get to it, then it really is kind of every man for himself when it comes, every man or woman or non-binary person for themselves.
Thank you.
When it comes to like making a movement, making some sort of like entertainment kind of comedy, like I mean left, like it's all leftist stuff, you know. It's just like it takes somebody that can organize those things and put those things in one place, and then you like people can go there and find it and find the richness in this community. It's very hard to like explain to a Street Fight fan, you should listen to Trillbillies, they're really great. A certain percentage of our listeners will do that, and it's the same thing with like the Trillbillies. They'll say the Street Fight guys are great, you know, we should listen, but only a certain percentage of their listeners are even gonna like give it a shot. But if it's all in the same place streaming on video, and you can and somebody who's a fan that maybe signs up to see Trillbilly stuff is scrolling through and sees something that we did, that's important. And like people, I think people would really get a lot out of it and a lot of material, and it's all artists that are operating without agents, that are operating without going on TV, like all that are operating without the help of the mainstream like entertainment machine, which gives us all like a level of freedom that has never been seen in comedy before.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, yeah, and I mean, that's what's exciting and fun about it. And it's like, we can just like run with it and do whatever we want, because like, you know, if we do it somewhere like Means TV where we don't have to like change stuff for advertisers or like worry about like network censors and different things, and we can just like really just have the freedom to do the comedy we want and put it out in a variety of ways to reach as many people as possible. Like that's the whole goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, and Brian and I have always been like, I mean, if one of these big companies, if a Vice or NBC or any of the big ones or any of the small companies that they own, like we go in completely prepared to lose the fucking thing from the very beginning. Like we don't want to rely on them at all, because they're not going to control what we can say, or if we have to like be positive about some awful light beer or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, just is no fun. And it's like, if entertainment's no fun to make, then like what's on screen is going to suffer. So it's like, make it more fun. Let's make it more representative of like a variety of working class voices and experiences. So I totally hear you. It's been so fun, like just coming into this whole world of like leftist stuff through you guys, and through just like you guys being so nice and kind to everybody, and trying to like take that same energy and approach with people and just be like fostering and like supportive. And you guys have done such a great job of like supporting me and supporting Naomi, and you know, like, yeah, we really appreciate that. And you guys are like such great like inspiration in the scene for just how to treat people and how to be.
Yeah. Well, I think the point is that we want a scene We think it's important for not only for our success, because I do think I think it's important that there's a scene for like our success. Like it helps us, but it helps everybody if there's a scene. And all this stuff has a message, and I see it as a very positive message, even though Nick's getting yelled at from all sides all day, which is fun.
That's tough.
Yeah. But, fuck them. All of them. Nobody, I love what you're doing, Nick, and tell them where to get it. Tell them to donate and where to get it, because I really want this thing to happen, because this idea that we have with the kids, that's all I'm saying, it's got kids involved, is fucking hilarious. And it needs to get done.
I totally agree. So our website is means.media. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/meanstv, where we also have the original Neon Cat video from 11 years ago, courtesy Sarah June. And you can find us on Twitter at means_TV. And we're fundraising until the end of May. So we really appreciate any support people can offer.
Yeah, if you know any rich people,
on, guys. Really appreciate it.
If you know any rich people, send them in Nick's direction. We need about $500,000, and and the thing is, he's agreed that anything that goes over $500,000 goes right to my pocket, because he just said I need it more than everybody else.
So. Deal. Done.
Have a good night, Nick. Thank you for calling.
Take care, guys. Thanks so
Bye.
much. Have a good one.
See how you get a deal? That's how you get a business deal done.
Oh yeah,
right?
really.
You just spring it on them on the air.
Thanks for schooling me.
Hey, can I, before we go, the Crickets did the tricket.
Oh yeah?
I
feel revved
great.
up?
I feel great. Now,
You're
I might have
hopping.
been dehydrated, too.
Yeah, that too.
Right? So I took them like pills, handfuls of them, and just drank and put them down. I feel better now. I'm not dizzy anymore. I'm not weirded out.
Well, so we can take this little moment here to say that, like, it is really challenging to do entertainment and how expensive it is. And I feel like we've been way more transparent in the past, but I didn't really mention when we did the show, like, our tickets went up to $15 in some places on the East Coast. And that is strictly because they are taking 30 to 50% of everything that we fucking make. I mean, that's strictly because that's the cost of, like, doing business in some of these older cities. I mean, it is ridiculous how little you get and the stuff that they put on the fucking invoice that, as expenses. You know?
And $15 is also like, a lot of venues make us charge that. We oftentimes will say 10 and they're like, oh, well, we need to add a service charge that's like $2 to $5. And it's like, well, we wanted it to be 10.
Yeah.
I mean, ticket prices, I will say this. Ticket prices are always going to be as low as I can possibly keep them, because that's sort of, Brett is a business mind that understands how much money we need to make things move along. But I promise, I'm a check. It's like a system of checks and balances, because I would still be charging $5 and we would be unsuccessful and have to get a real job. But Brett would never charge 20. Well, I mean, now I'm gonna say we would never charge $25 for tickets, and then we're about to know. But that's a whole different thing. It's a super show. Don't worry about it. That's later.
It's coming.
We'll get it. We're gonna do a big super tour.
Right.
I promise. Well, maybe promise. We gotta figure it all out.
Yeah, we're working on it. Thanks for spoiling that. Let's
don't
go on to
know
the next
shit
show.
about what's
but
happening.
you didn't give them anything. You
I'm
kind
not
of
telling
revved them
shit.
up.
I'll never tell. I'm never gonna announce this tour. Not even after it starts.
We got the Vegas poster artwork came in.
Oh yeah,
Dog
that's
Spunk. Dave Davenport came through again with some amazing artwork. I can't wait to get it out. It's coming soon. We're gonna be in the Southwest at
Denver.
the end of May.
Denver at the High Dive. Albuquerque at the Comedy. I think it's called the Comedy Vault. Phoenix at Rips, and Las Vegas at the Dive. We will be at all of those places.
You don't know the dates?
Okay.
We'll get them later in the show.
Yeah, actually I can do Sunday.
Do it off the top of your head.
The 19th of May in Denver.
Okay.
Tuesday, the 21st of May in Albuquerque. The 22nd, a Wednesday in Phoenix.
We're doing back to back.
We are doing back
Woo!
to back.
Okay.
And then Vegas is on the 26th, so we have a little layoff there.
Sure.
Because we're going to Double or Nothing.
Right.
And we're going to shoot Uzis
Yeah.
in Las Vegas. So those are the dates. Clear your calendar. The Street
Tickets-
Fight Boys are coming to the red part of the... Not red, like, politically, but, like, I think of it as, like, red sand.
The Mesa.
The Mesa.
Plateaus.
Mesa. You sound like Peggy Hill. Mesa.
Turquoise.
Yeah, we wanna-
strappy sandals.
Yeah.
Huarache shoes.
If you run a power crystal business,
Yeah.
we
want
would
to
love
get
to
some.
swing through.
I got this crippling depression that if you just gave me the right crystal, I would love to fucking just have that
You know
instead of
who's-
the depression.
You know who sells crystals?
Who?
Marvin. Marvin's a crystal person. now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go with Marvin.
Interesting.
Get Marvin on the show and talk about power crystals.
Yeah, I feel
But
like
what
if
they-
I'm bringing like a basketball-sized geode in and just make people deal with that situation, and I think that will throw them off balance enough that I'll feel comfortable, and it'll probably like
Sitting
work
on an airplane with a geode on your lap,
Yeah.
like I feel uncomfortable without this. But
it soaks up all the bad energy. I have a lot of bad energy.
What Marvin told me was that, like, because I asked Marvin, like, so what crystal is for headaches and what crystal is for insomnia? And Marvin listed, like, 5 different crystals and said they're all for protection. Like, it's just protection. All the crystals are for protection. It's like, well, fuck, I don't need protection.
Yeah,
can
I
protect
need-
myself. I'll get a gun if I want protection. Like, what are they? You throw the crystal at somebody or stab them with the sharp part?
Let me get serious. I have $6,000 right now available to purchase the soul of any person contained inside of a glowing orb. And it's cash, ready to go. Just show me the orb.
Yeah, let's get an orb. StreetFightOrb.com.
Okay.
Maybe we'll pick up some crystals in Sedona.
Of course,
and sell
dude.
them on our site.
I'm getting a motherfucking turquoise necklace, bro.
You should.
I need one.
I'm gonna get a
I need
puka
one.
necklace.
I need something that's gonna just take me back to the dirt that I came from. I've grown too high. I'm like stuck up in the sky, too blessed,
need
and
a
now I'm
geo.
stressed. Yeah.
You just need a fucking geode, man.
Yeah, I need the rock to drag me back down to the ground.
All right, get a geode. Let's take some calls.
Hey, thanks for calling Street Fighter Radio. Who are we talking to right now? A skeleton?
Ah,
I
you're
know.
here. What's up? Who's this?
No, it's a bat.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Yeah, we're here. What's up?
Oh, hey, that is me. Sorry, it beeped like a while ago. I didn't realize it was me. Hey, this is Carter in LA.
What's up, Carter? How
Hey,
you
buddy,
doing
how's it
tonight?
going?
Hey, I'm doing alright. How are you guys?
We're okay. I was like having a little rough time at the beginning of the show, but I feel a lot better after eating 70 calories worth of crickets.
That is a very Brett Payne snack to have around, I feel like.
I
I've
know
never
it
found
is.
cricket.
It's an elite level fuel. I mean, it's an elite level fuel.
I come over here with like jelly beans and shit like that, and then Brett's like, "You want some crickets?" Like,
But they're Southwest taco. The motherfuckers taste like a Taco Bell. Like it's not like
Yeah, I'm sure it
it's
is.
not fake ass Whole Foods like chintzy seasoning on this. These things are coated with like Doritos level shit.
it's not even Doritos
Hell yeah.
level shit. It tasted like they dumped the old El Paso spice packet onto a bunch of crickets. Yeah,
Woo!
but I mean they're cricket. Like the whole time
When I
you're
like
eating
tell
it, you just,
people,
what was that?
sorry,
The whole
When I,
time you're
like,
eating
tell
it, you're
people
thinking
that
it's crickets.
we might. Yeah. Well, like, we might all just have to eat bugs eventually. Like, it might just get to the point where we can't sustainably eat meat. So, like, we might as well get used to eating bugs now, I feel like. But anytime I bring that up, people get mad at me.
Oh no, that's where I'm at. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm like in the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah,
funky.
yeah, exactly. Get used to it now.
But also the fiber count is incredible, like which is a very important part of staying on this earth longer, which means being a bigger drain on society for longer.
Yeah, I know that socially, I know that the problem is like a social thing, right? Like where it's like, I'm only unable to eat the cricket. I only feel weird about
No, you
eating
housed them, dude. You fucking liked it. You fucking licked your lips.
like pills, though. Again, I said I ate them like pills.
I mean, that's like the highest honor ever. Pills are one of your favorite things to put handfuls of in your mouth.
Yes, I do love pills, but I don't usually eat food the same way I take pills. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's not a prime way to eat a tasty food.
Okay,
You should chew your food.
All right, go back to metaphor school.
All right. I'm going to go Liz, and you talk to Carter.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so I wanted to call in because I ran into a great Craigslist scam this week, and I thought it was worth calling in about.
Yeah.
I was trying to look for. Yeah, I posted about it in the group, but I wanted to call about it as well because it was just like very layered and elaborate. So I was looking for a new apartment in LA, and it is very expensive to find anywhere to live. So I was trying to find a place like under $1,000 a month that could take cats, and I found like 3 or 4 different places on Craigslist. So I sent them all emails and just like waited to hear back. And this one guy gets back to me, and he's got this place that he says is like fully furnished, and it's like a 12-minute walk from my office. And I hear all that, and I'm just like, that sounds too good to be true. But I also need to like check and see if maybe this is possible.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe this is legit.
Yeah.
And this guy also had this story that was like, this guy also had this story that was like almost believable enough that I wanted to keep going along with it. Because he's like, well, I'm an engineer, and my company sent me out of the state, but I want to hold on to this apartment. So I just need somebody to rent it for me for a few years until I can move back. And like he also said something about like being from Mexico originally. And so like even though his grammar was kind of off and weird in the email, I was like, okay, well, it's just because like English is a second language. And I just like wanted so badly to believe that like he had this like dirt cheap place, and like it was gonna save me like $200 a month in rent and make it like super easy to just walk to work every day.
Yeah, it's like the
then
perfect
I drove
trap.
by the place. Exactly. And I like drove by the place, and I see that like there's a like real estate company sign in the front of the building. I'm like, oh shit. And it's some woman named like Amy Chang renting the place, and I like look it up, and sure enough, it's a condo. It's going for like $4,000 a month or something like that. And I'm just like, well, okay, this is clearly a scam.
Yeah.
But I started going back and forth with the guy, and I'm like, do you have any proof that you own this place? And he like texted me a fake picture of a deed to the house. He had like a photoshopped deed with like his fake name on there, and he like sent me an ID
Nice.
that was like in the name of the guy he claimed to be and everything. And he had like he had like at one point he sent me like a Photoshop thing that was like a gift receipt from like Amazon to show that he'd like had something sent to his house at Amazon. And yeah, it was just like very elaborate. And then the thing that like really fucked me up was like all of the other places I had emailed from Craigslist, it ended up being the same scam. Of like people being like, well, I'm out of town, I don't live in the state anymore, but I'm trying to rent this place out. If you want to come take a look at it, you'll have to make a deposit before we can like send you the keys.
That's
So like that was the real scam, is they're trying to get you to make a deposit
so it's
before
just
they even gave you the keys to look at the place.
it's just a hot Craigslist. LA is a hotbed for scammers and hustlers. Basically, are they doing
yeah.
this remotely?
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
think? Are they even in LA? Or are they probably just?
Oh yeah.
They are.
I think
No, they gotta
Craig's,
be somewhere else. Because I looked up the guy's number, and it was like a Google Voice number registered to LA, but like you can register that number from anywhere.
Yeah, that is a fucking
everything, so, like-
Fugazi number.
I
That is-
think Craigslist
Yeah, and it was
is.
just
Oh shit! Sorry guys. I think
Ryan's watching
Craigslist
his
is
stories in the middle of
I
our
was
fucking
not.
show.
I was trying to look at Craigslist. I think Craigslist is basically all scams now. I mean, well,
the thing
like
is like
all the serious non-scammers that are trying to sell their junk and stuff, they're on Facebook Marketplace
You're right.
now.
You're
I
absolutely
really
right.
think Craigslist is just basically all of the like serious people that are trying to sell things went to Facebook, and Craigslist is just a wasteland of scammers.
It's cretins and like really fucking weird people. They're like, I don't want nobody to have my information. You know, those type of people.
yeah. No, and, like the thing is like a few years ago I found an apartment. Well, we found an apartment through Craigslist. So I was like, maybe it's still legit, and maybe I can find a good deal still, but absolutely not.
I mean, Carter,
It's just
when I was looking for a job, I was like, basically when I was looking for a job to sustain me from the time I got out of college till the time Street Fight became profitable, I used Craigslist exclusively. And there were fucking jobs that required a deposit on there. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like Craigslist is... I found that Craigslist is like a wasteland. And the only people it's good for is bosses that want to hire people for $8.50 an hour.
Yeah, I mean it's for like super.
Yeah,
They're like.
exactly.
They're like, I mean, also the jobs on Craigslist are also a fucking scam.
I know.
In the same way, it's like they're trapping
Yeah.
somebody into like falling into their meat grinder for a few fucking months and then getting spit out the other side.
Exactly. And like,
Absolutely.
I've never found an apartment on there. And one of the main issues in Columbus is like, so in a day, probably 20 apartments go up for sale on Craigslist under the neighborhood I live in, which is where I look in Columbus. And maybe 20 ads go up a day, and like 18 of them are the same apartment complex. Like, it's just such a, I don't know. I have found, and I don't know how this works in LA, but I have found in the past that the best way to find an apartment is to find like a web page for the neighborhood that you're trying to live in that sells the apartments, because like I found my place. First of all, I found my place just driving around, and I saw the sign and I called and like got really lucky. But like my apartments after that in Columbus, there's a site called Metro Rentals, and it's only for apartments within the downtown area and the neighborhoods adjacent to like downtown where you want to live in the urban areas and cool parts of town. And that's how I found like all my apartments up until I got this one, which I've been in for like almost 10 years. But I never looked at Craigslist, and I never really looked at the one ads, because like it just feels like so much of that stuff is like making you jump through weird hoops. It's making you like, someone will have like background checks, and you're like, which I understand, I guess, in a way, but it's like, damn, man, you gotta like, why you gotta go through all my stuff to get here? And I know a lot of like people who own 1 or 2 apartments, and that is like.
No, that was the first place I lived in LA. Was like this guy owns like 2 buildings, and he was just like a terrible landlord.
Of the
like,
worst.
Yeah.
Anybody that owns less than 50
I'm never
apartments.
gonna do that again.
Anybody that owns less than 50 apartments is probably bad at landlording. I'm not like sticking up for like the petite bourgeoisie or whatever like that, but like I have never had a good landlord that only owned a few apartments.
Man, I can't believe I made it through. Like that we've moved. Like me and my wife have just like, we are both super like give up people. Like just paperwork at a certain point, I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. I'll live in the fucking car. Like I'm not going to listen. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to sit in this office anymore, any of that. So me and my wife like drag each other across the fucking line. But it is like so gruesome to go through that. It's like switching fucking
Is
places.
it worse? Do you I'll let Carter answer first. Do you think it's worse than buying a car, or better than buying like getting an moving and getting a new apartment? Worse or better than buying a car?
The last car I bought was on Facebook Marketplace, and it was actually super easy and like not a big deal, and that's what I'm gonna do from now on.
This isn't sponsored
it was
content.
like so straightforward.
But dude, that's what
Yeah,
that's where the serious sellers are, dude. If you're a listener to this show
Exactly.
and you're looking for the serious listen, if you're looking for fucking normie shit, if you're looking for like normal people apartments, if you're looking for normal people sales, if you're looking for normal people recipes, then there's only 2 places to go.
Yep.
Normal people sell things on Facebook Marketplace. Normal people post recipes on Pinterest.
Sure.
The only 2 places you can get this information is those 2 places, because that's the only 2 places normal people are.
No, Facebook is great. I mean, everybody on there is like trying to sell. They're like, come to the house, put it in the fucking mailbox. I'm going to leave it on the front porch, you know?
And they'll be selling like, I see people all the time just selling like, I got fucking 25 bottles of laundry detergent. I'll sell you for $3 a piece. And it's like, well, that's a good deal.
Yeah, if I had a truck.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the Facebook Marketplace has turned into such a weird, Like, there's so many weird things for sale on there. Like, in Ohio, a lot of times, people will be trying to get, like, real high dollar money for hats signed by the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, like, got a signed bobblehead in some Kroger fucking, weekend. Like, you have to spend $200 this
But
weekend.
yeah, 'cause that's just
You get a Kirk Herbstreit, like, bobblehead that has his signature on it.
And then they'll charge $500. They'll try to
Exactly.
charge $500 for it on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace. And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, that thing is not worth $25.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just hold out until somebody does pay that, and then otherwise it's just junk in your house, so it doesn't really hurt you either way.
Right.
Yeah, when
So it's like a perfect thing.
You wanna
Yeah,
hear-
I think the best thing to do, honestly, is to put price tags on everything you own, so that, like, when people are in your house, if they're interested, and, like, if they'll pay the price,
Go
you're
with
like,
that.
fucking go with it. Go, get it out. Get it.
Yeah.
My,
Yeah.
You got cash? I'm ready
That's all
to.
on Venmo.
We're
I gotta
wheeling
tell
and
you-
dealing. Oh, Venmo, even better. Yeah, I'll scan your fucking code right
Yeah.
now.
I gotta tell you all this story real quick. So when me and Brett were out of town, my sister-in-law called my wife and was like, "Hey, I just bought this table on Craigslist. Can you run and go I just bought this table for $4. It's in your neighborhood." And she lives like an hour away. Can you run and pick this table up? It was $4. So my wife was like, yeah, I'll fucking go pick up the table. I'll pay the $4. I get the table. I'll take it home. She gets to the house, and the table wasn't for sale. It was like a whole bunch of stuff that was sitting on the table.
Nice,
And
nice.
she just got a car full of like fake plants. And like she had to take it. When she got there, the lady was like, "Don't you need a tote bag or any kind of bag to carry this in?" And she's like, "A table?" And she's like, "No, she didn't buy the table. She bought all the stuff on the table."
Wow.
It was all fucking trash, dude. Every bit of it. And it was, my entire fucking car was full of stuff.
Better.
And it was just somebody that got
This is like-
$4 for their trash, which is incredible
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
true. It's better than zero.
Yeah. $4, you go throw this away for me.
Yeah. That's a great grift.
Yeah. Well, it's such a funny thing to think you're buying, like you're trying to buy one thing, but it was just a bunch of trash that you were actually buying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Carter, I hope you
Totally,
find an
totally.
apartment. And,
Yeah, for sure. I'll figure it out.
yeah.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say,
I'm the same way.
I wanted to say I gave a little money. Yeah, I gave a little money to Means TV was the other thing I was going to add.
Okay.
Oh, tight, yeah.
After Nick called in, I finally did it. After listening and everything, I've been wanting to for a long time, and I really hope it takes off.
Yeah, me too. I do too.
Yeah, and I'm also the same way. I
Yeah,
do
that's
hold
gonna
out.
be awesome.
I hold out hope. I'm like, there's some fucking sucker out here that's like getting taken
Exactly.
advantage of for the fucking rent on his like $1 million apartment. I'm gonna be the guy
Exactly.
that gets that fucking deal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, as long as I bark
Yeah,
up the
I
right
want it to be
tree.
So bad.
Yeah, I want it to be me.
Yeah.
I mean, I got real hooked up. My
Absolutely.
apartment is $1,035 a month for 3 bedrooms and a basement in a neighborhood that it shouldn't be that much. So you can always find something. You just have to be
Not in
willing.
you're talking about Los Angeles, motherfucker.
But I'm saying you have to. Well, their price is there. Obviously, the cheap equivalent of what I pay there.
Yeah, it's
and
like-
you have to just.
For sure.
You really just have to like drive, and you also got to move into a real stinker that's in a nice neighborhood. Like you move into a house where the air conditioner's too small for the house, and the fucking hot water heater only gets like 1 shower a
Yeah.
day.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling
Thanks
in,
for
man.
calling,
We
Carter.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Let's see who's on the line here. We got people are chomping at the bit. To
I am looking at apartments on Craigslist right now.
in LA.
No, in Columbus.
Oh,
There's one that says fully furnished studio apartment for rent, $200. I just don't
Okay.
think that's real at all.
no, that sounds. That doesn't sound like that would be comfortable. Let's see.
Oh yeah, here it is, dude. Need a home? Need a home fast? Need a fully furnished, cute home to enjoy immediately without the hustle and bustle for moving furniture?
Pay
and
me
utility
$200
collection?
and I'll do it.
Don't have time to shop around? Have some glitches in the credit? Oh, this is that's what Carter's
Perfect.
talking about.
No, they had like I'm leaving town and I have this really sweet place that I just want $500 a month for.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Let's see. Thanks for calling Street Fight Radio. Who are we talking to?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly actually.
Oh, great. That's awesome. So My name's Mark. Great to call in. I actually am. I met you guys last week. I met Brett last week in Brooklyn or whatever it was, a couple weeks ago. But I wanted to call in because I thought I had a kind of a funny stealing from work story that and actually in a way involves a friend of yours out your way.
Okay.
So so if I can get in. So when I was 17, this is going back to 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. I was working at a drive-through beer store in upstate New York, and so it was like people would drive through the canopy, and we would load up their cars with cases of beer, and we figured out we're all 17, 18, we had no way to get booze, so we figured out that if we in the big garbage box they had in the main room, if we threw a couple cases of beer in there when we took the garbage out, we could just leave them behind the dumpster, and we could go out there and just leave several cases every time we worked the shift, and then after we left, we would just drive around back, pick them up, and we'd go. So we were always the guys with the booze, and so we were always stealing the beer, and no one ever said a word to us. And we had it down to a science. Every time we were working, we were throwing 6-packs, we're throwing cases in there, and no one was ever doing anything. So so we did this for a while, and it was the way that me and all of my friends drank for a while was just having this stolen cheap beer that we got from the store. But then, unfortunately, one point, so I'm out with my friends. I get home. We ended up breaking up things a little early. My friend drops me off. I still got half the 12-pack in my hand because, beer at that point was still pretty precious for us. I didn't want to just leave it somewhere. At the same point, my friends are dropping me off. My mom pulls in the driveway, and I'm carrying this beer. I'm totally hammered. I'm 17 years old. They interrogate for me for a while, and eventually it comes out that I had stolen this beer, and that was even worse. But they were friends with the guys who owned the business.
Oh, no. No, Mom and Dad, don't do this to
Yeah.
your baby boy.
So they were really upset, but they were friends with this guy. So they were like, okay, well, we don't want you to lose your job. We don't want these guys to know because, they're friends of ours and all this stuff. So you have to do volunteer stuff to make up for it. So they're like, you have to figure out how many service hours are you going to do. So what they ended up signing me up for was I had to work at a telethon for kids escaping drugs. I had to go to this local telethon and work and move stuff around and help people out at this thing. And they're like, you have to volunteer to help other kids who are doing drugs and stuff and getting clean because you were stealing beer and drinking underage.
Wow.
Which, is not really it's not a bad punishment. So then at one point I was just running stuff around. At one point they're like, we need people on the phones. We need to get people on there. And they're like, you're a volunteer. Get on there. So I got on TV. And this is going back to 2001. And the reason I mentioned that it was actually someone that I had gotten really into Drew toothpaste. This was before he had even had toothpaste for dinner. And he just had this website that was drew.corrupt.net. He just used to write stuff. And I used to love his website. So what I did is I was on TV, and I took a marker that I had in my pocket, and I wrote his business, not his URL of his website. And every time the camera would pan over to me, a host would be like, you need to donate to get these kids off drugs or anything, I would hold up the sign, for his website so that people would see it. I don't know why I did that.
That's
It
awesome.
was a really funny thing to do.
You know
So
what?
I was holding it up, and
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, yeah, so I was holding it up, and I actually emailed Drew about it. He had the email on his website for a while and everything like that. And so I was calling all my friends, and so I realized that the phone that I had to work at, they're supposed to be there for people that you can actually make out calls. So I was dialing all my friends, calling them all, turn on channel 2, man. I'm on the telethon.
That's awesome.
This
This
was
is
my
the
punishment.
best punishment ever.
Yeah. Just fucking wreaking havoc on a dumb telethon.
Yeah, and promoting Drew's old website. So then, of course, because it wasn't a punishment, we kept stealing because, we had there was no other way to get booze because we were 17 and there was no other way to get it. We didn't have anyone to get it for us. So then, of course, because I was stupid, I got caught again. And they figured it out. So they're like, you have to go confess. You have to go tell your boss that you were stealing from him.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I had to go in there, and I had to sit in their office. And there was like it's a small business. It was two brothers who owned it. It was a pretty small place. Really wasn't that big, and I had to go sit down. 17. I'm like, yeah, I've been stealing from you for the last like 6. Of course, we said, oh, it was a couple cases here and there,
Sure.
instead of it being like this
course.
large scale fraud that we had going on for months and months.
Yeah, you have to,
So I had
you
to
have
go
to
in there, and I
use the thief's code on that one. It wasn't that much. You didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, it was just every now and then we just took a 6-pack here and there. That's all it was, So yeah, so that was my story of just stealing from work for months and months. But I mean, it was a great scam. I mean, if you just
What did they do to you?
Back,
What did they do to you?
actually nothing. Nothing. They didn't. Because I was young, they kind of let me go. They told us we're gonna dock your paychecks over the next few months or whatever, and they sort of did that. But we were making. I mean, at the time, this was going back to 2001. We were making just about minimum wage, which at that time I think was like $5.30 an hour.
Right.
So it was warehouse work basically, stacking cases and filling up trucks and everything like that for nothing. So I don't really feel too bad about it, but I ended up getting fired a year later because I refused to shave my beard. And the one boss didn't like the way it looked. He's like, you look like an idiot with your beard. And that was what got me fired.
God damn. Wow.
Right.
Well, he deserved to have all that beer stolen from him.
Sounds like pretty good. That sounds like an even in the ledger books.
Yeah. You know what I back when I was a teen, when I was like 19 and 20, me and my idiot friends used to go sit on my friend's waterbed and smoke bongs out of this Goldschlager bong that we made. And anytime there was a telethon on TV, we would turn it on and then call it up and then wait till they show the people on the phones and then scream into the phone really loud and see if we can see the person react to it on TV.
Watch them go, pull the fucking headset away from their head real quick.
Yeah, we thought it was fucking hilarious.
Did it work?
It did. Yeah, it works.
You just scream into it?
Yeah, we would just scream into it. I mean, probably,
oh my god,
hey motherfucker, or something like that. But yeah,
they're like, yo,
because if you say something, they're not gonna move.
Right.
So you actually have to be really loud.
Right.
So that when they get it, they have to take the phone away, and you're like, that's who got me that time.
Yep. I love it.
Good times. Wreaking havoc on telethon.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
On telethon, yeah, of course. Hey, and I'm one of your Discord moderators. I'm Nilbog over there.
Oh, cool.
So everyone should come by and talk to us. We're very, what I gotta say, just before I go here, that recently I was in need, and one of the other guys in the Discord was really able to help me out and hook me up. So it's a great community. The whole Street Fight community, I really appreciate it, and really, really happy to be a part of it, and everything you guys are doing.
Hey, thank you.
That's
I'm
great.
glad you're a part of it.
Yeah, I feel like I should drink to that.
Yeah, you should drink to that. You should.
Thanks for calling in, Nilbog, and that was a good ass story. That was that was perfect. He got punished. He got punished by having the best fucking time horsing around on a telethon.
Just
that's
adults are so stupid because they will unleash bad teens on.
Yeah.
You should. I mean, I don't want to say this out loud. If you're punishing a teen, you should put them in a room and make them be quiet alone.
You should put a cage. You should put something with a lock on the door.
Yeah. They're punishing them by making them
They think they're he knows better.
Yeah.
This time.
Well, they think he knows he's in trouble.
Right.
Oh,
right.
He knows he's in trouble. He ain't gonna fuck around.
No, I'm just gonna do whatever is fucking fun.
It's no, I'm dumb as shit. I'm actually really dumb, and I only do what makes me feel good at all times.
Yeah. If you're not gonna cut my hand off, I'm just gonna do what I want.
Yeah.
Let's see who's on the line here. Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who am I talking to tonight?
Subcommandante Stavros.
What's up, Subcommandante Stavros?
Just playing some Stardew Valley, listening to you guys, having a good time.
Okay. Well, what's up tonight?
Nothing. I was planning to call in and talk about my new job, but then when I called in, I heard, I think it was Brett talking about Valley Uprising. And
Did I mention that?
On the air, when you guys... People were waiting on hold.
Yeah.
They can hear us talking when people are waiting on hold, and you were talking about it on our way out the door.
Oh, I didn't know people weren't listening to that.
I mean, well, it wasn't a big deal.
Sure.
I mean,
It's fine. Sorry, go ahead.
And I love that movie, and I actually saw it when it premiered, and it was one of the awkwardest dates I've ever had.
Really? You went on a date to... so Valley Uprising, what I was telling to Brian, is like, it's the history of the Yosemite Mountain and the people that started climbing it. And it's incredible because, like, back in the 60s, the two people that, like, were competing to be the first people to climb this thing was this really straight-laced, button-up guy, like... named Robin Royal versus this other dude that was named Warren Harding. He was literally named after the president, and he was this like unwashed, pampered, like his mom just like let him live at the house. He was drunk all the fucking time. He would climb the mountains like super fucking wasted. And like these two guys were competing for the mountains. And then later like an airplane full of weed crashed on the mountain and all the people climbed up it, and it's a really good documentary. Me and my wife said it's like King of Kong level good. Like it is one of those ones that anybody can watch it. You don't have to know shit about climbing, and you will just immediately be into it. Okay. And especially for street fight people, they mentioned that like at the very beginning they used the term dirtbag so many times. They're like, we were a bunch of fucking dirtbags. It was Camp 4. We lived at the bottom of the mountain. We climbed it all day, and we like did drugs and fucked at the bottom of it at night. Like we didn't have anything to we didn't have anything to eat, you know, but we just wanted to climb, you know. Yeah. It's a really fucking good documentary. Sorry, what were you saying about it?
Yeah, it's really good. But I saw it when it premiered. And at the time, I was dating this girl who's I was into rock climbing, and I met her at the climbing gym, and we went to the same high school. And but it was right before I was leaving for college, and so I knew that I was going to break up with her, and so I just spent this really, really anxiety-inducing evening, like watching these people do crazy things at really heights on like tiny pieces of iron, while also being like, I got to break up with her like tomorrow.
Yeah, you gotta draw some strength from these rock climbers, dude. Right?
Yeah. So it just involved me sitting for like 2 hours next to her, being like, "This is the worst. I feel so much stress."
Yeah, it's hard to what?
It sounds different. Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it sounds different.
Okay.
Maybe it's your
I got too close. I got too loose.
You got too close to the sun. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch this movie now. I feel like I got to watch the damn movie.
But I feel like I would be inspired to break up with somebody after watching people climb that mountain.
Yeah.
Like I could do anything.
Yeah, it is a really good movie. But
yeah.
That's just my little... It was funny hearing that because, a lot of people talk about that documentary.
Yeah, no, I've never heard it. I've never heard of it. What's it on?
It's on Netflix right now.
Okay.
Is it still? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just watched a movie called Billboard Boys that was a documentary about these guys that lived... They did this radio contest, right? In Allentown, Pennsylvania, and they were like, whoever stays up on this billboard the longest gets a house.
Ooh, I love that stuff.
So these three motherfuckers went up there. Radio station was like, it probably lasts like 5 days. They're like 90 days into this fucking thing now.
No.
I think it went and like the dudes then by the end decide to band together and be like, you should give us all a fucking house. You know what I
love
mean?
it.
It was very good. The
I'm
radio
sold.
station's like downplaying it and like trying to get it to end and go away.
Yeah, they're like
but the
shooting
media
people with
keeps
darts.
covering it. The press keeps covering it.
Yeah, this
and
is
like
amazing.
making it bigger.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like these dudes like lived up on for almost a year. I believe it was like 9 months or something. They lived on a bill. I would do it too.
See, I mean, come on. And at this point, we need to get rid of all the regulation, all of the fluff, all of the gatekeepers, all of the money holders. Give them all a damn house. Give them a round of applause. They lived on top of a billboard, folks.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
what are we
The
doing here if
fucking
we're not
police-
rewarding people for living on a billboard for 9 months?
The fucking police framed one of them for selling weed off of the billboard,
no.
dude. Yeah, it's
Oh,
wild,
no.
dude. It is a wild little documentary. Billboard Boys. Check that one out, too.
Yeah. How dumb would you have to be to sell weed off of a billboard?
He wasn't selling weed, so he brought his own weed up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, he brought his own weed up there, and this cop was like, hey, can you sell me a 20 sack? And the guy is like, no, but I can probably get a hold of somebody that would fucking sell you a 20 sack, and
What
the
is
cop's like,
this?
but I want it from you. So he's like, but I don't want to give it to you, and the guy's like, but I really want it from you. So he like put it in a little, he threw it down to him, and as
Oh,
soon
he
as he
could
threw
go to
it,
jail. He deserves to be in jail then.
I mean,
He should be in jail for the rest of his life.
oh please, he was cool as shit.
If you give weed to a cop, go to jail.
It wasn't a
forever.
cop. He didn't know it was a cop. The guy was like fucking undercover, and he kept hanging out at the
man.
bottom of the billboard
Well, that's
every
true.
night.
Never mind. He was following the ancient doctrine of a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Yeah, he was hanging out in the fucking. This cop was hanging out under the billboard every night, like haranguing this guy to give him weed.
But like wearing like a poncho and like.
But like wearing regular people shit, not cop stuff. He wasn't wearing like a uniform.
Oh,
He
I
didn't know
thought
he's
you
a
were
cop. He was
saying-
like undercover, and he came there with a bunch of guys, and they would hang out because people would hang out under the billboard and shit. They'd be like, "Hey, we're hanging out under the billboard, checking out these guys."
This is a movie.
Yeah, it's a documentary with actual footage of it happening.
Oh,
And they interviewed the guys that were on top of the damn billboard, and they're like, sucked up there. Wasn't very good. We was up there for like 9 months.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a good vacation though. I mean it's better than regular life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of them got a
Better
house.
than doing the fucking dishes, right? There's no dishes up there.
One of them got a double wide trailer and still lives in it to this day.
Oh, I would take a double wide. I'd split it. If, like
Yeah.
all three of us split a fucking trailer. Fuck yeah.
I would take a double wide too, by the way. If somebody was like, you can have a double wide trailer for free, I would take that in
Yeah.
1 second.
Consolation prize.
Yeah. I
whatever-
wouldn't even
whatever you
like,
call it.
I would take that now. If, like, because it just seems like having your rent, having to never have to pay rent again
Yeah,
is a dream.
freedom.
Yeah.
Well, do you own would you own the land underneath your?
Hell no. Nobody
double wide?
owns any land in this fucked up place.
I agree. Yeah, nobody owns any land. They can just take it away from you anytime.
You gotta pay taxes on it.
Yeah. You got to pay taxes on it, and the government can just be like, we want to build a freeway. We want to build an exit ramp to get to this Walmart easier. And that's what they can do. It does sound a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fuzzy. I wonder if it sounds that way on the other side, though, because if it just
Nobody's
sounds that way
complaining.
on this side,
Nobody's
then that's
complaining.
fine.
I didn't bring it
care.
up because no one's complaining.
Maybe
You
it's,
guys sound clear.
okay,
Perfect
good.
on my end.
All
Yeah,
right,
but
right
I'm really
on.
excited to see you guys in Denver.
Yeah.
I'll bring you some weed.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
need
I'm
all
excited
of
when you
that.
guys play.
I just can, the problem.
And-
The problem with weed is that there's just never enough. I mean, there's just it runs out so quickly. It's just terrible. It keeps me up at night thinking about the people that are going without weed tonight. Sorry to be a downer.
And I'm
no.
gonna send you guys some food recommendations for when you go to Albuquerque.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so keep an eye on the Twitter for that.
They do.
So thanks for talking to me.
Yeah. have a
Yeah,
good one.
thanks for calling.
I think Phoenix is Phoenix the one that does Hatch chilies. I don't think we're gonna be out
That's
there.
Albuquerque.
Is that Albuquerque?
Yeah.
That does the Hatch chilies I fucking like. It's not a hot pepper, but it's a flavorful pepper, like the poblano, which I also don't mind. So
It's enjoyable. I like
yeah,
it.
they're fucking on point, especially when you get them all blistery, like blackened and shit. Fuck yeah. Also, well, let's see. We got a whole queue full of people. Let's see what we can get into here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Rob in Los Angeles. I called in a few months ago about the Walmart parking lot and the campfire.
Ah, I remember that. What's going on this time?
Yeah, I met you guys. So, I was up there fairly recently, like in the last week. I thought I'd, kind of take a tour through and see what was all happening. Like, let's see what the rebuilding is like. It's really not. It's a wild scene up there because that town is like, it's so gone, and there's buildings remaining, but it's like, it almost seems sort of random sometimes.
Yeah. What are they building? What are they rebuilding?
Well, I mean, there's so much destroyed, and this is the first time I've seen it, but they're basically, at this point, it looks like what they're trying to do is get all the hazardous waste and all that stuff, like, out of the land. Like, I saw so many just lots that were full of rubble and had a little, like, sign kind of pounded in with stake. It just said like, hazardous material removal complete. And that was it.
Yeah,
And, I mean, they've been like that since November.
oh yeah, they could put a Qdoba there now.
Yeah, that's what usually happens when a disaster like that happens. They come back and build condos.
Well, I've been saying like I think it's just going to turn into the villages up there. It's going to be like weird gated retirement communities.
Yeah, just
pretty retirement heavy.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. I think that any place that's beautiful that is hit by or like cool that's hit by a some kind of a natural disaster, like even like New Orleans is a cool place. So it got hit by Katrina, and then they basically like they cut down the amount of apartments. There's less places for low income people to live in. There's just less places, so the rent goes up anyway for the people that are still there. And it'll probably be the same for a lot of these wildfire places where they just aren't going to build the same amount of homes there, and the rent's going to go up, and things are going to change.
Yeah, I mean, I went back to the well, not really the house anymore, but the address I lived at in the '90s up there, and it was fucking surreal seeing this. Like, oh hey, there's the deck my dad put in, except now it's ashes. But like, there was one person I talked to who was still on the street, and like, he was talking about how like her house like didn't get hit at all. Like her late husband's whatever was like 70-something Land Cruiser like survived. Just like holy shit, like it almost seems like this random thing where it's like, not that house.
Yeah.
And she's just the only one left on the street.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff happens. There's always like little random things that happen when there's one of these disasters where some places will be left and some places will be hit. Well, thanks for calling in and keeping us up to date on what's going on there.
Yeah, it's a wild time in Paradise, California. So thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. 2 California calls tonight, Brett Payne.
Yeah. They're getting into it early.
Yeah.
It's dinner. They just finished that fucking dinner out there.
Oh, lucky.
Oh, yeah, that post-dinner haze.
Yeah.
Just feeling like talking to anybody on the phone. Like you just call up a podcast and fucking shoot the shit.
Yeah. You want to take your break now, or do you want to take one more call?
We do one more call, and then we do a break.
Because my balls are full of pee again. I know. I'm drinking a lot because I thought I was, dying.
Well, I put a rubber band over there that you could put around
your... You want me to put a rubber band around my balls?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That'll stop everything up until you're ready to go.
Like when you're a kid and you hold on to it real tight, you're just like, I'm holding it. You told me to hold it.
It's really funny, though, when you go pee with your buddies and then you hear them doing like the chip, 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 just like stopping it and like the stop and start. It's a funny way to pee.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do some pee tricks for you next time we're out of town. I promise.
Hear your pee tricks.
Next time you hear me pee, you're gonna be fucking amazed at the sounds.
Yeah, some cool sounds.
Yeah, I can make it happen.
All right.
Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Yeah, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can totally hear you.
Oh shit. Hey, Brett, Brian. I'm a long-time listener. I'm with FMB. I called in primarily to thank Brett for going to Food Not Bombs. I really appreciate it. It's a great org. They turned me from a baby leftist into a red-blooded revolutionary.
Yeah, they're doing produce giveaways once a week now. Like they've really ramped it up. Like the new management or the new people that are doing all the logistics in the Columbus one are getting a lot of fucking food distributed.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've been following. You guys are doing some great shit. If you're ever in DC, stop by. We have our own little operation. As well to any listeners, hit us up. Food Not Bombs.
I think we'll be in DC later at the end of the summer. The plan.
July, the end of July, actually, we'll be in D.C.
Sick. Nice. I'll search some chains together.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to call in to just, I'm Palestinian, all right? And, since the Soviet Union collapsed, Palestine ain't got many friends around them. Like, North Korea is the one training Palestinians nowadays. So, really the only way Palestine is going to get free is if America gets all revolutionary.
Yeah.
And that's why I do all my work. That's why I go with Food Not Bombs. Trying to build a movement here in the U.S., you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we just got to get shit moving here. That way, third world, Palestine, they can get free. Because, like, Israel's going pretty even strong on, like, Palestinian territory. And, like, if we just wait for global warming to hit and, like, collapse to happen so we can make our revolutionary strikes and that kind of thing, like, there's not going to be a Palestine left. So, like...
There's not going to be much of anything
or
left.
whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've taken a less on like my Facebook, the political stuff. I've like have stopped like just talking about like whatever the thing of the day is, and I've made a point to try to mention to the people that like put all of their eggs into the Mueller report basket. Like when these things fail, is to say like, all right, that thing's not working. You put all your time into that. Are you willing to now devote the time you were spending on this Mueller report and put it into being in the streets or joining up with these organizations that are already out here taking care of the problems that you claim to care about, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, that's why I love you guys, because you guys are so accessible to like your average American working population. Like, if you don't know anything about politics, like, you can still enjoy Street Fight and get the message, and you can learn about things that let you get active, and like, I don't know. It's a great program you guys got running here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Free Palestine, up the Street Fight, up
For
the
sure.
RA.
Hell yeah.
Hit up Food Not Bombs in your area.
You're right, though.
And,
You're right.
Brian, put those rubber bands away. You can pee.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's time to pee, baby.
You're absolutely right, though, and I mentioned this in the history zine that's coming out very soon, but like I read a Noam Chomsky book, Hegemony or Survival, and he broke down very explicitly like the conflict between Palestine and Israel, and that was like an early moment for me that just like cracked everything. You know, it was just so blatantly obvious that our support and the continuation of the system that keeps this in place is objectively wrong. You know, that was like it's very closely connected, and so I'm glad you called in. And
Yeah, actually, you know, if I can do one more thing. Like, I don't know, my dad got like tortured by the IDF at one point, but like nothing grinds my gears more than telling somebody I'm Palestinian, and then they go, you know what, I hate Jews too, and I'm like, whoa, hold up, buddy. So like, all these struggles we got, they're all fucking connected. We got to combat anti-Semitism just like we got to combat Islamophobia and all kind of shit. I'm sure no Street Fighters fall into that. But, like, you know, call shit out when you see it. Try to get people woke. Like, regular people are going to be the ones, like, pushing shit forward. Like, we can't just have a vanguard. You know, we got to get the everyday folks on it.
Yeah, and you know, for Brian and I, like, we can't speak about what it's like to be in that position or to know what it's like, but we'd like to create a space.
It's all the same. You guys got it pretty good.
Well, but we create a space where people can hang out and understand and learn and share that kind of stuff and kind of just be with it immediately. So I'm glad you're listening and enjoying the show, and thanks for calling in. We got to get this pee-pee break going, though.
Get my pee-pee out of my balls.
Good pissing. Free Palestine. Peace out, guys.
Free Palestine.
Peace.
I'm with you. I like that.
You going to play this music?
Yeah.
So you can send music if you want music to play. And let me tell you, to be honest, where I'm at right now, I need a fucking Bandcamp. I need a website that I can just play, and 15 minutes of music will play reliably. And so this person sent their music in. I liked it. They're called the Chin Cheese.
And
They're
here,
out of Portland, Oregon. CHINCHES. You can find them at dirtcultrecords.bandcamp.com. They're the Chin Cheese. He's not plugged into the fucking stream or whatever. Coming through? Hey, welcome back to Street Fight Radio. Thanks for listening to the show. I hope you're enjoying the call-in so far. You can, as always, watch what we do. Go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go to YouTube. Every single Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday around 10 or 11. Check our social media. We're going live. We're doing the show. There's a chat that's going on that's always a lot of fun. The people in there are the best, and I love seeing the community that's building around the show and all the people that are doing a lot of cool shit. They're talking about Food Not Bombs in there right now, which I'm excited about, and, fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Bigger than I ever thought. And, I just because they mentioned in the chat here, they were mentioning some trans rights issues, and I said this on a lot of podcasts. You should definitely go listen to our appearance on there because you get a lot of exclusive stuff you won't find anywhere else. Same with Pod Damn America. But I explained on Antifada that, getting into this from the very beginning, finding anarchy and going into these social circles on social media and all that stuff, trans comrades and queer comrades were, there from the beginning. They knew what it was like to be oppressed by the state. It was very easily for them to jump on board. So, thanks for coming out to the shows and supporting what we do. I don't want to always be, performative about it, but it is, amazing, the community that we have here and the acceptance that we have,
It does kick ass. It makes me feel like we built something that everybody feels like they can be a part of, and that's important.
It's a party. We always want it to be fun and a good time and having fucking fun. It doesn't have to always be like clapping for how right we are with what we believe and stuff. It can be letting loose.
I like that. I
All
like
right.
not clapping.
Claptivism is what they call it. Let's see who's on the phone here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. We got a few to go, but we're going to get these taken care of. Thanks for calling. Who are we talking to?
Hello.
Howdy.
How you guys doing? This is Steven from Colorado calling in.
Hey, what's going on, Steven? How are you tonight?
Oh, not much. First time in a long time and all that. Just thought I'd call in and say hey to you guys. Just wanted to, welcome you home after your long East Coast tour. You guys had a lot of fun out there.
We're back in Ohio, though, which is where we belong. We
I
definitely...
hate it. I don't like Ohio. I wish I was back on the East Coast. It was wonderful. It was wonderful out there.
I like Ohio, just for the record. I'm happy I'm home, and I'm happy that I'm back in the city that always sleeps.
Well, that's a good place to be. It's back home. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I've been to Columbus, Ohio one time, and it's not really the place for me, but if it's the place for you guys, I'm glad that you guys can make it a home.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand. I always say this about Columbus. I really love it here. And if you grew up here, it's a wonderful place to live. If you move here later on in life, I feel sorry for you.
It's much more. I think it'd be more exciting if I haven't always done everything.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of times because of the size of the city, you go look for a restaurant to go eat at. You feel like you've eaten at all the restaurants, and you're like, and you've done all the bowling and all the things you can do in town. That it's like, I wish there was some new stuff, because I feel like I've eaten at every restaurant in this city. So, what's up tonight? What are you calling for?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've run into a weird, repeated circumstance sort of thing in the last week or so, and that's guys on motorcycles being assholes on the road. And I guess get your opinion on that.
My wife hates motorcycle guys. She just gets mad at them for existing. For me, it's like, I don't know how I feel about it, because I do get that tinge of anger, which I believe is jealousy when they make it around traffic. I don't know if that's,
Splitting lanes?
In my brain, it's like this. In my brain, it's like, that motherfucker, he could have just waited in traffic like the rest of us. But then I also realize, if I could do it, then I would do it. If I could skip traffic, then why wouldn't I do it? So there's a jealousy there.
I think, if someone's taking the risk to be that cool, you just kind of got to suck it up and understand that you're just a bystander in their rock star lifestyle.
But I dislike loud motorcycles. I can't
love
stand
them.
the noise of motorcycles.
They're better on gas mileage.
Okay. Well, okay. That's fine. What do you think about what happened to you this week with the motorcycle guys? Uh-oh. Everything's looping in. What happened with your motorcycle guys? I think we lost the caller, dude. I feel like we lost the caller for sure because he's not talking.
Yeah, it seems like something happened there.
Well, let's try another caller.
They're still showing on my thing. Did their audio get muted?
Are you muted, sir? Are you there?
I don't know what's going on. I've lost you guys on my phone here. I can hear it on the stream, though.
But you can't hear us right now.
I guess I'll just do my story real quick in case this call is going to drop. But really, I just
He's
had
a
a
professional.
weird run-in with some guys that are just changing lanes real fast, not using turn signals. And I've just been almost hit by a guy on a motorcycle 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks. And it's just something I've been thinking about.
That's interesting.
And it frustrates me when it happens, but I feel on the kind of that jealousy of seeing people weaving through traffic and whatnot.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's jealousy, and sometimes I think it's justified. I don't know how I feel about motorcycles. I know they're cool as hell.
Yeah, they are an awesome.
They are cool.
They're awesome mode of transportation. Also, if somebody's fucking head split open like a melon in front of you, that would be interesting as well. And like that's the type of thing they put on the line.
I don't like that part. I don't want to be.
Oh, you don't want to like kill somebody?
Well, yeah, I don't want to be faced with somebody's death in front of me. You know, I know part of living on a planet is that people die and it could happen in front of you. But, like, if you're on a motorcycle, drive responsibly. It's always left up to, they're always like, you know, make sure you drive responsibly for our brothers on motorcycles. And it's like, that's fucked up. You know, I mean, I'll do my part, but they got to do their part too, is how I feel. Maybe that's my philosophy. You be safe and I'll be safe and everybody will be safe.
Yeah, to be honest, like I do ride a bike in traffic and I stop and I don't run red lights and I try to be a good citizen for biking. Honestly, motorcycles shouldn't be doing it, but like they just harness the spirit that we all wish we had. You know, they just really just grab onto that life that we just, you know, as we're sitting in 45 minutes of traffic and they're splitting lanes and doing a fucking wheelie. Like they're just, we just steal a little bit of their shine, right? Just like take a little bit of their happiness, you know?
They also get away from the cops all the time.
They can get away from the cops,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
That's amazing. I love it when a person gets away from the cops no matter what.
That's smart.
Well, hey, buddy, thanks for calling. Good motorcycle takes.
I'll let you go and get the rest of these calls. You have a good night.
Wait, can you hear us again? Can you hear us
Yeah,
right now?
Happy late 420.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
I got you back on the phone again. I don't know what happened. It just cut out for a sec, but
All right.
I would say, but here's the thing. I'm always...
Brett's
Sorry, I got dab lung. Well, the thing about it is that, like, I also feel if you are choosing to ride the motorcycle and be an asshole, people have the right to call you an asshole, and you should have to put up with that. You shouldn't pull out a switchblade and, like, threaten them in front of their family. Right?
true.
Like, if I want to say, you asshole, like, you shouldn't beat me up, you know, it's for, like, a gang initiation or something, right?
That's true. I agree with that. Thank you.
I just want to cover all the bases of motorcycle gangery.
Yeah, that's true. I
I mean,
you.
I just feel like, just, you know, it doesn't matter. It's one of those things where don't worry about motorcycle people. And maybe someday you'll get to see a real life horror movie in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Kevin from the Midwest.
What's up, Kevin? How's it going out here in the Midwest?
Midwest is best.
Midwest is best. So my dear, dear, dear friend Extinct Inks told me to call in to you guys tonight, and I have a request from them. They wanted to hear you say trans rights.
Trans rights. I did this not too long ago. Brent, you have to say trans rights.
Trans rights. I already said I did it. Right?
We did just do it, but you have to say trans rights.
Trans rights.
Thank you.
You have to say it, man.
Yeah,
For
no,
sure.
we believe trans rights.
Yeah.
You know, they posted
Oh, yeah.
that person posted the video of when they got me to say trans rights on Twitter. Oh, my beard looks so good in that video. I wish you could see it, Brett.
So Extinct Inks is actually the person that illustrated the Gumball for the shirt, the Injury to Gumball shirt, and the Gumball is an asshole. They are the illustrator for that, and constant collaborator in the zine as well. One of my favorite people to work with.
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
Oh my god! And you got to see the sex zine thing they have coming out.
Okay.
It's so fucking good.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna get fucking horny over this
Okay.
fucking rope binding
Okay,
shit.
cool out.
Yep,
Cool it.
yep,
Cool it.
Yep. You can't wait until it happens.
I don't know. I can wait.
It's coming soon, really.
Well, sweet. You got anything else there?
Yeah, so I was complaining about work, and they told me I needed to call you in and talk about all of my employer's transgressions.
Okay.
You'd probably get a kick out of it.
All right. Yeah, let's
So,
hear it.
I work in a scientific field, but we like manufacture products and stuff within like science. But I work in a lab, and so the way that it started out with the pay scale was everybody would just get a 3% increase every year. That was a cost of living increase. And that was fine until they started to like actually grow and hire people. And what ended up happening is now the company's been around for a while. The people who have been there for like over a decade, are making have not gotten any raises other than that 3%, and so then they're hiring people in at the last rate. So we have people that have been there for 10 years, and they'll meet up with somebody who's just lowest tier, entry level position, and they're like, yeah, I'm making $15 an hour, and they're like, I'm not even making that, and I've been with the company for 10 years.
Oh no.
So, yeah, so it's been a huge issue, and people have been just going bonkers about it lately because it's just getting so bad with them hiring people in at the current rate, but not bringing everybody else's rates up, and they just are kind of we know it's a problem, but we're not going to do anything about it. And then just recently, what made a bunch of people leave is they had a bunch of problems with just a few, a handful of employees that were calling in every Monday because they were hungover and weren't going to come into work. And the managers, for whatever reason, were like, I can't fire this person because it's very much you get through this company by getting dirt on people and then holding it over their heads. So they're like, I can't fire these people. So they instituted this attendance policy. So everybody, other than the salaried employees, so the supervisors and managers who aren't affected by this, anybody who's paid hourly, is you get 8 points, and so if you're 1 minute late, you get deducted half a point, and at 8 points, you're automatically terminated with no recourse.
Yeah.
So you could end up losing your job for what amounts to 16 minutes.
Okay.
God damn.
I was very into that. I was in a point system game for a period, and I was very good at manipulate. I actually liked the point system because it let me always know where I stand.
That's true.
But I can see also if they just foist it upon you after not having it, it would probably suck.
Yeah, and it's if you call in sick, then you get a whole point deducted. So it's just I work in a place where I can't come in and get sick because not only am I risking getting my coworkers sick, but I'm also then risking contamination of our product, which is made to grow bacteria.
Yikes.
So if I'm sick with a bacteria, then I'm going to be coughing and sneezing all over whatever I'm working on. It's just oh, well, why is this growing on this plate? I'm not supposed to be growing this. It's oh, because I coughed on it while I was sick because I had to come in.
Dang.
So it's and the points only roll off every year from the date.
Yeah.
So
A year is a
they
long.
linger for a really long time.
Right.
That was my
a year-
system. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, we work in a field that most of our people have degrees, we're adults, and they say, oh, we make wiggle room for stuff to happen, but at the same time it's just look, stuff happens, and I can't lose my job over the fact that I get sick, or my kid gets sick at daycare and I have to take them home, so I have to leave early, and therefore I get a point, and then lose my job and can't support my kids.
Yeah, I mean that's always those conversations you have where we had a point system at one of my jobs, and it would just be 12 points and you were out. I'd be at 10.5. I'd be like, hey Megan, I'm calling in today. They're like, are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, yeah. They're like, I'm really disappointed. And I'm like, well, are you going to fire me? And they're like, well, no, I can't fire you until you get to 12. And I'm like, okay, then I'm not going to be there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Right. I mean, the point system is very naked, but it is, I've never liked that feeling of being on a game system when you're right. Everybody here is very well educated grown-ups that can associate with each other and get this work done without writing down every fucking minute that we're spending, on stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the point system at the place I worked at that did points, they rolled off after 3 months. Well, actually,
that's a gift.
They didn't roll off after 3 months. A half a point rolled off every 3 months, and you could work overtime on the weekends. And for every 4 for every 2 hours you worked, a quarter point came off. So if I got up right around 7 or 6 points, I would just work a bunch of overtime, make a bunch of extra money, and also have the points roll off.
Oh, you guys cut out again.
Ah, shit. Oh no.
Hey, now you're back.
Yeah.
Shit the bed.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I used to I really worked the point system at the place I worked at. But the point
I
system
really
that
wish they
doesn't.
would do that weekend overtime with us because, like, when I worked a different position at a different building, and from Easter of last year until I left in October of last year, I worked 8 hours every single Saturday except for like a handful where I didn't because it was quote unquote mandatory overtime, but they can't make it mandatory. But it was just like, you know, I still go in and work on the weekends. We still all have plenty of time, you know, stuff to do on the weekends. I'd happily go in and work, you know, a few hours, which I already do, if it meant I could get like a quarter of a point off or something. Just like, look, I'm showing you I'm devoted to my job. Like, I don't want to lose it over, you know, because, you know, I hit a bad traffic light.
Yeah, it does. I mean, a point for so they don't deal in quarter and half points and 3/4 of a point in your system.
No, it's either a half point or a point.
See, that's crazy because, like, for us, it was something like if you're 15 minutes late, then that was a quarter point, and if you're a half hour late, that was a half point, and then, you know, it kind of moved on. So basically, a lot of times, if you were like 2 hours late, it was a full point. So people would just be like, "Fuck it, I'm just not gonna go in. I'm just not gonna go in. I'll take the full
that's the
point."
same thing with us. Like, it's like from 1 minute to 2 hours, it's half a point, but anything after that, it's like a full point. So then people are like, well, fuck it. If I'm going to be a minute late, like, you know, I'm just going to call in. Like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
And,
you know what was tight about the point system I was in, too? A no-call, no-show was 2 points. But, so, like...
Yeah, that's the same for us. It's 2 points for a no-call, no-show, and then it's like 1 point if you either, like, miss more than 2 hours or if you call in sick completely. Like, they have to know, they said 48 hours in advance.
Right.
But it's like, I had a friend who worked for Whole Foods when they were, like, after they got bought out by Amazon, and they had the same system. It was actually, like, better. And the fact that their half points rolled off after 6 months rather than a full year.
That was
but
how...
it's just, like, they obviously, like, don't really care about how many people are there losing. Like, we already have really high turnover. And our VP of manufacturing was like, oh, I really want to address this. Like, this will be our goal for the next fiscal year. But, like, they had a manager's meeting to tell them how to, like, the system operates and what they're going to do and what their responsibilities are before they introduced it to all of the employees. And one of the managers just was, like, you know, he opened it to questions, and he asked, like, hey, how many good people are we going to have to lose before you guys realize that this system is just completely broken? And HR's response to that was, well, good employees are never late.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But I mean, it's not even about like being a bad employee. Like, people are just late sometimes.
Well, I mean, there's also just styles people have, and some people roll in 10 minutes late, and some people roll in 15 minutes early and waste 30 minutes of time to get the day
and some
started.
people roll in 10 minutes late and will work the 10 minutes on the other end of the shift, too. It's not like life or death. And if you just make these arbitrary lines, especially for, like you're saying, adults that have advanced, you know, degrees, then, like, what even are you doing? Like, what's the point? What was the point in all the college and all that stuff if in the end you're being treated like somebody that works at a call center? That's the point system I had was at a call center.
We had one person literally, like, she was kind of waffling on whether she wanted to stay or not, because she's just like, look, the job's easy. I like it. I like the people I work with, which is like what everybody says. Like, you stay for the people, but you use this place as basically a stepping stone until you're done. But, like, when they implemented that, she was just like, oh, no, I don't like people telling me how I can use my time or, you know, punishing me for, you know, things that are beyond my control. Like, I don't plan to get sick, and I don't plan to, you know, hit a train on the way to work and be a couple minutes late, you know. And, like, the managers were trying to get them to go down to 15 minutes so that there was that buffer, but they wouldn't budge. They were like, nope, 1 minute.
I actually just had this conversation with my wife the other day, and Brett, you'll probably appreciate this conversation too. Is that so? My wife works a job where she's paid salary, And pretty much the entire company is off if the market is closed because her job is directly tied to the stock market. Like, she does something that's kind of tied to the stock market. So if the market's closed, if banks are closed, she can't really do her work. It doesn't. There are other side things that they can do, and a lot of times they'll have them come in and do like company retreats and shit like that on these days where the market's closed. But inevitably, my wife always has to work the day after Thanksgiving. She always has to work on Christmas Eve. Like, she has to be there. And there's no real reason for productivity that she has to be there. So she has gone, everybody else in her building is off, right? Except for the people under this one director. So she said that her manager went to the director and talked to the director about getting the time off. So and said no. Nothing ever happened. She didn't say no. She said, I'll run it up the thing and we'll figure it out.
We'll see.
And so it reminded me of this time when I was working at the cable company. Out of nowhere, the people from New York, the people that like run the company from a boardroom, like the CEO and the CFO or something, came.
The people that fly up into outer space and direct the cable into everyone's home.
Right. Well, they came to Columbus, right? They came to Columbus, and they sat us in a room, and they asked us about our job and what our job was like, and the managers weren't there, okay? And we told them what was going on in the place, the things that bothered us about what was going on. It was a really, actually reasonable conversation, and they listened. And then the next day, the managers had a meeting with us and said, we understand your frustrations, and we're going to deal with these issues. And for 2 weeks, the managers were great, and they were doing all the stuff that you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
But after 2 weeks,
using the buzzwords.
but after 2 weeks, that all ended. And I think when I think about things like this, you go to your manager, who then goes to their manager, and that manager that's above your manager is where everything goes to die.
Yeah.
It never goes above that. That manager is there as a shield between you and the people above them. So you could, if you could sit down and talk to the person above that manager and be like, what the fuck am I even doing to work here? Or why is it the same amount of points for 2 minutes as it is for fucking a half hour? Yeah. If you could talk to them, they'd probably be like, oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Let's change it.
Yeah, they would never abide by those rules.
Yeah, and that information just never gets to those people. It goes like three rungs up the ladder and then dies. And that's why people are so miserable at work and nothing can ever change, because everything only gets 3 rungs up the ladder, and the person 3 rungs up the ladder can't make any fucking decisions. They can't actually make decisions, and they actually are too chicken shit to go to the people above them to ask them to approve these decisions.
Yeah.
That's how I think a lot of companies work.
Yeah, it's funny because we participating in those meetings where we were quote unquote trained on the attendance policy. We had the VP of manufacturing at all the meetings, and so it was just you report one step up. One step up is the CEO. You are very close to getting up there, but it's they're the ones that made this decision. So it's just I'm hoping that in the next few months that they'll see how many people they lose, how our turnover just goes from bad to worse, and they'll realize oh dang, this isn't working. This is doing the opposite of what we had hoped for, because the people with the dirt are still hanging around because they're finding ways to get around it and things like that. So, but it's just really funny to me because when this all started happening, I was talking with my coworkers and we were all so frustrated by it. And I just mentioned offhand, if we were union, they wouldn't be able to do this. And a lot of my coworkers are younger than me because they hire a lot of people that are right out of college, and I got kind of a late start on that. And one of them goes, oh yeah, my dad's in a union, but I'm glad we aren't union. And it's just because the anti-union stuff has been around for so long, Like, I asked him, why don't you want to be in union? And he didn't have an answer. He just knows because of, like, all of the anti-union propaganda that, oh, being in union is bad. I don't know why it's bad, but I know it's bad, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
that's
people.
Just how it is with, like, all of our coworkers.
You know, there's a lot of people out there saying that you shouldn't join up with your employers and ask or your fellow employees and ask for a better working situation. You know, we gotta respect what they say.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of people come to that anti-union stance if they know somebody that's in a union from that person having a bad experience with the union, and then they kind of just spread it out among, like, not a bad experience, like a person that got fucking fired, and had a union job. Because I got fired from a union job. I'm gonna tell you what, I worked at the grocery store at Kroger. I got fired, and they had a union. I got fired for calling off, but I got fired for fucking calling off like the 6th time in like 2 months. And I got fired and it was for Lollapalooza, and it was transparently for Lollapalooza because I came in and bought tickets on the day I was supposed to be at work. And like, I got fired, but then I ran around. I was like, the union didn't even fucking protect me. And it's like, well, I mean, they can't protect like you if you're a bad employee.
Yeah.
but like, so like, I think some of that stuff is just people who had a bad experience at a job with a union. And his dad probably, because I know another guy that was in a union who talked about how, like, all the guys that have seniority, they just sit on their fucking ass all day while we load trucks, and it was bullshit. And it's like, but if you would have worked there longer and got seniority, you'd have been sitting on your ass while other motherfuckers loaded trucks. It would have been awesome. That's the way it works, you know?
That's a great.
Yeah. The older people have to sit on their ass more than the younger people who have to fill the trucks. That's how this whole thing, that's how the workforce works.
That's life.
Yeah. That's wild, though. That point system sounds oppressive.
We lost that person. All the flesh melted from their skin and they became a skeleton.
That is an oppressive point system, though. If it's like, if it takes a year to roll off, I consider that an oppressive point system.
I like a year, man, because sometimes they do that shit where, like, it would be January 1st. And then you'd, like, rack them up at the end and then get them all back at the beginning and then you'd overuse them. But, like, 1 year, I feel I was able to, like, sprinkle them well enough.
Right. They're saying that the points.
But it also depends on the amount. Like, I got 12. So that was basically one call off a month. I had one every once a month. I could be like, my dude has the best fucking Molly right now. So can't come to work at all.
Right. It's a year for a full point to roll off is a long time. Like, if we're talking about, like, a point, you get a point and then 365 days later. We're not talking about January 1st. We're talking about 365 days from your point.
Yeah.
And a year for a full point to roll off seems like a very
But how
long
many
time.
are you talking about? How many total are you getting?
If you get 8, that's not very much.
I got 12. I got 12.
Right.
I got 12 in
person
that
that
system.
just called got 8. And
I
that's
I don't give a fuck about that person calling. I only care about me.
Okay. Well, 8 is not enough to play with.
No, 8. No, hell no. 8 on a yearly schedule is bullshit.
Especially if you're like.
You should be on 6 months at least.
One of those people that are like wildly scared of work, and you know the thing is, when you get 6 points in an 8-point system or 10 points in a 12-point system, you get a probation like email, and it scares people.
Well, that's like the weak will.
Well, it scared
bullshit.
me.
I know.
Yeah, it scared me, but it was like, why do I care?
What
about
I always
this?
said to, man, I cut through it just from the very. You just say, "Are you gonna fire me?" And they're like, no, but this is serious. Like, we're really mad.
Yeah, we don't like it.
Oh, Jake in the fucking main office found out about this, and he's not happy. He doesn't like seeing names come across his desk. Says they got 11 occurrences, I'm like, well, is he going to fire me? Like, no. Like, well, okay. Well,
Jake will fucking live, man.
I got to pay. Yep. We're all going to do fine. As long as I get my paycheck, I'm going to keep doing the best fucking work this warehouse has ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who's on the phone. We're down to 4. We're on a good pace right now.
Let's do it.
We're in a marathon groove here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's Jeff.
Nope.
What's up, Jeff?
Hi, Jeff.
Are you in a fucking diner or like a pet adoption place?
No,
just hanging out, watching a movie.
Oh, a movie.
It sounds like somebody's yelling at you in the
Yes.
background right now.
Sounds like
I
I heard racket immediately.
I just keep hearing somebody say, Jeff. Jeff, like, are you in the middle of a movie?
I deserve it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the middle of a movie and you're like, well, I'm just on the phone with this podcast right now, actually. That's what
I
I'm
was on
doing.
the phone with you before the movie started.
What movie you
That's
watching?
how long y'all been on the air.
Are you in Hellboy right
It
now?
was The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride.
Princess-
Go see Hellboy.
You've seen The Princess Bride before, haven't you?
Yeah, me and my wife were watching it.
Oh, okay, okay. I know that. You gotta do it.
How y'all
man.
been?
You gotta watch the same movies 57 times with your wife.
Yep.
That's the way it works. That's how my
Especially
wife is.
I
Let's
mean,
watch
when you-
Mamma Mia.
If
Only
you're gonna share a
57
blanket, if it means sharing a blanket, I'll watch it another time.
You're a sick man. Yeah, no, let's watch Mamma Mia again. Oh, great. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
fucking
sing.
Princess Bride again. Yeah, it's
I was
funny.
just saying how cheap your blankets are. I mean, you can get it for that.
I only watch movies one time now. I have a strict only watching a movie one time
Really?
policy now. Yeah. I will not watch another
I don't
movie.
ever watch any new movies. I only watch like movies I've seen 27 times.
See, that's
Really?
a problem
I don't
I've
know what the deal is.
That's a
That's not
problem
bad. It's
I've
not
run.
bad.
That's a problem I've run into though. Is that like I've run out of movies
No way.
where I'm just like
You're
How did
just,
you
I've
ran
seen
out of
all the
new movies?
movies.
Brian. You're just a guy that wants someone to bring everything to you on a silver platter.
My wife will attest to I have seen every single movie, and I say this every time we look for a movie. I'm like, honey, I've seen them all. I saw all of them. Every
Yeah.
single last movie
Yeah.
that I would watch, I have seen. That's a
Okay.
caveat there.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so for people that can't do the math quite properly, of movies that he would watch, he's seen them all.
I've seen every single fucking one.
He has some very important prejudices.
I don't have any
about every
prejudices.
other movie that isn't the movie that he would watch.
I've seen A Star Is Born.
You watched A Star Is Born?
I have seen A Star Is Born.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
You
I
ate
watched it.
ate crickets and you watched A Star Is Born.
I watch
you are
all
like a
kinds of shit.
fucking metropolitan motherfucker
I
right
watched
now.
Tag. I watched the movie Tag.
I don't even know Tag.
It's a fucking mainstream comedy movie. I sat and watched the goddamn thing. I see movies. I will watch. I saw Shazam, which is in my wheelhouse. But I'm
I've
saying,
seen movies.
but
I've
I
seen
only-
movies. I've seen movies.
I
I've seen
strictly
movies.
now, and this, my wife even understands this. She has to go to the movies if she wants to see a movie with me because I won't watch it again once I see it. I'm like, I saw it. I'm not watching it again. Every time I watch a movie a second time, I don't like it anymore.
I agree. I mean, Erica, I will spend 15 minutes telling my wife how amazing a movie was, and I'm like, and she's like, well, we gotta watch that, and I was like, no, I mean, I just watched it. Like, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Check it out. Like, check it out sometime. Like, if I'm out of town or something, or you're bored, like, just go do it. But I just watched that thing.
Yeah. Sorry, we railroaded you on your movie, but I just want everybody to know that I have a
I can't remember
strict.
the last time I saw a new movie. So.
Yeah. One movie. What? Only watch every movie once, and you'll never hate a movie again. Because watching it, if you know
I'm
you
on the
never.
opposite trajectory. It's complete opposite. I'm going to only watch movies I've seen 100 times.
That's comforting. I can't do it. I just can't. I am addicted to the new. But I haven't rewatched anything in a very long time.
Yeah. Well, I watch all new movies. I go to the movie theater all the time. I haven't seen Hellboy yet, but I plan to see it once.
Yeah.
Once.
I do want to see Hellboy.
Hellboy's gonna rock.
Well, here's the
It's
thing.
gonna be good.
It's got terrible reviews, and people actually, I said, should I see Hellboy or Shazam? And I got multiple DMs from people like, please, you do not want to see Hellboy.
I'm sorry. What other movie has the son of Satan with flaming horns cutting people in half with a
I don't
flaming
know.
sword?
I mean, I'll tell you this: Shazam is not good. He
Was that
is
Adam Sandler movie with him?
Yeah, it is. It's an Adam Sandler movie. It's just bunk.
Shazam.
Adam Sandler as Shazam, right?
No.
Yeah, it's Adam Sandler.
It's the guy
It's
from
Adam Sandler.
Chuck.
Adam Sandler was the son of Satan.
Yeah, he was in Little Nicky.
Oh no, I went Adam Sandler with
That's what it's
Shazam.
called.
I'm trying to explain. I saw Shazam, and
That's the
Shazam
Water Boy, Brett.
was what I would call a wimp. and he ran away from the bad guy through the whole movie till the end.
You watched it?
I saw it.
You saw Shazam?
I did. I took my daughter to see Shazam on Thursday night at 9:15 or 9:45 p.m.
You saw 2 Captain Marvel movies, just from 2 different kinds of Captain
I
Marvel.
see. This is where I learned my policy, everybody. Here's the thing. I was watching these goddamn comic book movies, and I was having the best time of my life in the theater. I was like, these movies are great. I love these movies. Then I was coming home and turning them on the TV for my wife, like, oh, you fucking got to see Winter Soldier. And we turn it on, and I'm like, this movie fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's a movie. I would give that movie I gave that movie 5 stars when I left the theater, and 1 star when I watched it on my TV.
I mean, when things are gigantic and loud, and you have like popcorn and like a whole bucket of like sugar-free ginger ale, you know?
Especially with my policy of always sitting in the first 3 rows at the movie theater.
Yeah, that gets you in.
No,
Yeah.
I was always one of those like middle rows guys.
No, you're in the front, man. It's grabbing you by the fucking shoulders.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do anything else.
You know,
When you're in the front,
the problem with sitting in the front, when you sit in the front, you cannot see the whole screen at any given
you can't look you can't look anywhere without seeing the movie.
I know.
You're trapped in like a panopticon of the movie.
That's how I
like,
feel.
Every fucking where you look is the movie.
I know. And it's so fucking loud.
I know. It's just
and
shooting
it's right
at your
in
face. Yeah.
It's like fucking so much.
Yeah.
It's worth it for me to
That's
sit.
5 stars.
I went with
Maybe it says something about me.
I went with my brother.
Maybe it says something about me, but I want to be able to see all of the stuff this movie is able to do. So if I could only see a part of the movie, I'd get a little.
You turn your head, man.
In that corner, I can't see right now.
So I took my brother and my sister-in-law to see Fast and the Furious 6, and they had a meltdown because they had to sit in the first 3 rows with me, and I was like standing up and raising my fist during the movie and getting so excited to it, going, damn, because it feels so fucking real.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
immersive.
row,
Yeah.
where it's like you get there in the back and it's like, I might as well be at home watching it through a telescope or something, like up in the balcony with those little opera glasses and shit. Like, I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to be right in the fucking front of the thing. I want it to feel like I'm being assaulted by the movie.
No, I want to get in it. I want to get as close as possible. Like, as a kid, I was the one that put my forehead on the TV screen to watch shit.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do that
I
again.
did that one too.
Yeah.
I love it. Somebody was
I
talking,
did that one too.
like recently on your Kickstarter.
Just the individual colored lights
I'm
in the
me,
TV.
me and my wife did it for Cowboys versus Aliens, and it was like the best fucking movie we had
I
ever
know.
seen.
I
My
love
wife
that
would
movie.
probably still vouch for that movie. Like, that shit rocked.
Yeah, but I was listening to Your Kickstarter Sucks, and they like really hit home for me this week because they were talking about when DVDs were like just like near dying, and they were like, you can either buy the widescreen version or the pan and scan,
Oh, yeah.
right? A full screen version. And I remember I was so a full screen version. Because they were making fun of
you're
of full
wrong.
screen people because they were like, I don't want to see the black bars, and I was like, I didn't want to see the black
Yeah.
bars. I hated the fucking black bars.
Fill it up.
Yeah, fill the fucking thing up, man. I'll
Zoom
be fine.
zoom in on the action. I paid for all this TV.
No. See, here's my problem is that all that stuff that you can't see, that the black bars are like making space for, all that stuff matters.
No, it
And all
doesn't.
the stuff
It's
that's,
usually
like where all the shit's happening, and I mean that matters too. But it's not the only thing that matters.
But I'm like really dumb.
You're literally narrowing the aperture.
Right, I'm really dumb though, and like it's the same thing when I read a news article. I kind of wish I could hire somebody to like highlight the important parts of the article so I didn't have to read all the other stuff.
Just
you know?
focus right in on what I'm supposed to be looking at
it's the
here.
same thing as TV. It's the same thing with books. It's like, can I just read the important parts of the goddamn book? Do I have to read like all the other stuff?
Okay. Oh, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When, and this is probably why, sitting in the front rows of the movies or putting your head all the way up to the TV is better than, like, the full screen release as opposed to the widescreen release is when you're sitting in the front row or when you're choosing to put your head on the TV, you get to choose where you want to look.
Yeah.
But when you get the widescreen release, you can only see what's on the TV.
Right. Yeah, that's fine though. But
So
for me,
it's
it's
really
like
authoritarian in a sense.
for me, it's like I mean, I've never. Here's the thing: I never watched a full screen movie where a guy like threw a kick and the person he was kicking was not on the screen. Like I've never seen anything. Where I was like, I never felt like I was missing anything. I know it's horrible. I was a redneck guy. I understood. Once I got the cable job, I was okay with the black bars. Because I understood how all that stuff worked.
Like, look, you can soak up so much atmosphere on the right and left-hand side of this picture here.
But me and my wife, man, for a long time, like, we wouldn't watch HD TV because a lot of the shows had the black bars on the side. We weren't watching that shit. This is bullshit. This sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a fucking 3/4 television, right?
I know. It's like I bought this fucking huge TV and now I'm watching shit with bars
like
on it. Get out of town, man.
3-2 television, like that 3-2 beer bullshit.
Yeah, give me a fucking, put me in the front row of a goddamn movie. Look, okay, let me ask you this, and then we'll get to the reason why you called. I'm gonna ask the caller this now, okay? Because he's disagreeing a little with us.
Oh.
If you built a home theater at your house, would you put the chairs like 40 feet away from the screen?
Okay, if I can get a room that's got 40 feet of space, then I'll put the chair. Then there's the question that I can actually answer. But as for right now, the chair, like I don't know, I want to see the whole screen, but I don't want to see anything but the screen. Is I guess the problem.
Yeah.
So the black bars are nothing. They're literally nothing. So you kind of don't see it.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you have a motherfucking...
It's far enough away from the screen so that I can see the whole thing. But, I don't know. I want to see
Yeah, dude, I'm about to get to them.
I want to see the whole screen.
I'd rather, you know what? I'd rather have them fucking glasses. If they can make some of the VR glasses, make it look like I'm watching a big ass TV, I'd rather do that, man.
I mean, I always, back in the day, there was this Maxell tape commercial where this guy like sat in like a reclining chair and he put a tape in a tape deck and shut it and turned it on and his whole like hair was blowing back and shit. That's how I want to feel like when I'm watching a movie. I want to be as close to the screen as I can get. I want to feel the wind blowing on me. I want to feel the chairs shaking. All that stuff. So, Easton has the chair shake now.
Ooh.
So, when I was watching Shazam, whenever he did something cowardly...
Are you serious?
...and fell, the chair would be like...
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Nice.
All right.
That feels like the beginning of
Awesome.
TV.
That is pretty cool.
It was cool.
You're in the world. That means you're there. You're in the world experiencing the things that are happening.
Rumble Pack.
Yeah. Experiencing Shazam.
Yeah, the Rumble Pack. Yeah.
I can't believe you gave money to Shazam, man. You're pathetic as fuck, dude.
I already have tickets for Endgame, dude. Wow. I have tickets in my phone right now for Avengers Endgame.
You can break free from this and never watch a Marvel movie. It doesn't matter.
I will never. It's like jury duty to me.
I mean, if you want to have parlance with toothless people, you should watch fucking Marvel movies.
Yeah, if you want to talk to like a kid or something, or any human, like if you want to have something where you can talk to any human in the world, you go see a Marvel movie.
No, not the fucking elites, man. The elites aren't into that shit.
But all humans, most people are though. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm thinking about is somebody was commenting on my recent film like watching, and my philosophy is to like let the hype die down and then figure out what people are still talking about. And I realized with those Marvel movies that they have not created like any sort of significant cultural like catchphrase or moment or anything. They're just all like dust in the fucking wind. Like they're just like so temporary. There's nothing about them that like affects our culture in any sort of significant way.
Can I offer a rebuttal to that?
Yeah, give me.
Being a part of hype kicks ass.
Sure.
And like being in there, the moment, like where everybody's going crazy. Sure. It's like everybody's fucking seeing Endgame. Holy shit! You got to see it this weekend.
Right.
That's very important to me. Actually, my daughter has
quality-wise though
a concert. Right, a band concert. She has to do a choir concert on Thursday at 7. And I originally bought the tickets for then, and I was pissed off that I had to go to the concert and not see the movie on opening night, so I'm seeing it on Saturday. And it's like, just for me, it's like, I want to do what everybody else is doing. One of the most defining cultural experiences of my childhood was when Batman came out in 1992, and people were fucking shaving Batman into their head.
Yeah.
And like all anybody was talking about was that fucking Batman movie. And my dad took me to see Batman on opening weekend, and I just fucking felt like, holy shit, man, me and the rest of the world are fucking seeing this Batman movie together.
Yeah.
Now,
We're going to get the collector's plate from McDonald's.
right. Things like that don't happen now. It's not, except with the Avengers.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
an Avengers movie
Sure.
comes out, every single person is like, I'm
Yeah.
going to go fucking see this Avengers
All the,
movie.
um,
And we all sit and talk about it. You know, you can talk to a guy at the bus stop about it. You can talk to like a college professor about it. You can talk to like anybody about the Avengers. 'Cause
Well, not anybody.
everybody's watching the Avengers.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Everybody's watching it.
I mean, the mouth-breathing sheeple,
Oh,
like
Jesus
they
Christ.
can't bring themselves to like do anything significant for themselves, so they ride the coattails of a bunch of cartoon characters.
You're an asshole.
It's just, I don't know. It's bad. It is a bad fucking movie. I mean, it's totally not worth your time, and I've given up on it. And, you know, like Star Wars had significant moments that really did affect culture in a gigantic way, but these Marvel movies have resulted into nothing significant in any sort of fashion. And I'm sorry to deflate your balloon, but let's hear what the next caller has to say. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to? Hey, Rose. How you doing?
For the Trans Visibility Day.
Oh, awesome. Yes. I remember that.
I was calling because I heard a bit of a tail end of your conversation. Were you talking about eating bugs earlier?
Yeah, I bought some like cricket protein. I have some like cricket protein bars, and then like that company sent me like coupons to get like they're just like dry roasted crickets that taste like taco seasoning mix. They're great.
Cool.
I mean, they're low calorie, tons of protein, lots of fucking fiber. Like you shit out every single thing that goes into your body that day. Like nothing makes it. Nothing is sitting in your colon.
How's Brian feeling about that, about eating bugs?
Brian took it like a champ. Brian said it revitalized him, and he's like on board as far as I know. Are you still in with bugs?
I don't feel like I'm having a panic attack anymore.
Dude, it like
and
regulated.
I feel like that was because I had just eaten like carbs and vegetables for dinner, so I needed some kind of protein, and I think it did like level me out. I quit like shaking, and once I quit shaking, I quit like panicking. I panic when my body does anything.
Yeah, you have to consume life force.
Yeah. I'm pretty bad about eating. I don't do a good job of eating during the day.
How so? What's your diet like?
Well, I get up every day and I say I hate waking up, and then I drink a Soylent and
You
about
announced that.
24 ounces, I think, of water.
All at once?
Yes, I chug it, and
Ooh,
then I drink.
That's impressive.
And then I go for a really long walk, and then I come home and I might eat like a bar if I have one, but otherwise I'll just wait until dinner time, and then I'll eat dinner, and then, you know, sometimes I'll binge eat at night, but I'm not doing that as much anymore, but I don't think I'm getting enough calories. So that's just the way it is. Go ahead.
I was going to say that a few years ago, one of my friends was living in Thailand, and I was living in India for a while. So I went over and I visited them in Thailand. And over in Thailand, they serve bugs as like a novelty street food. So there was a night where I was really drunk with my friend, and we just tried a bunch of bugs. And it wasn't like ground up crickets. It was like whole deep fried crickets, spiders, grasshoppers, and we just chowed through them all. And you know what? They're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You can just make them out of fucking nowhere. Like, you just, like, put a bunch of bugs together and just make food. You know, they are interesting
Yeah.
source of like nutrition and all of that. And there's like, I know that they serve them in tacos in certain places. There's also lots of, stir fries and shit that get made with it. So I'm down with it. I mean, I enjoy them. So I had them on hand. Brian tried them out of nowhere. We try to, like, I want to start like a snack YouTube, but I don't have the extra time, and I really want to just talk about snacks and flavors, for a good part of our lives. And I'm glad that he gave the Southwest Taco crickets a try. These are full blown crickets. Like it's a handful of fucking bugs. Like it's the whole body and everything. I got the
it's not like ground up at all?
No. This is like snacking crickets. This is like you put him like when your Paul used to like put a handful of peanuts in his hand and shake him around and then like shoot him in his mouth like through a little funnel or whatever. Like it's that type of snacking.
Yeah.
It's like a Cracker Jack shit.
Dang.
But what I've moved beyond, to be honest, is like take Southwest Taco crickets, mix them up with like cashews and like dried pineapple, and make that into like an impromptu trail mix of some sorts. That's been my like way to enjoy them the best.
Yeah, I don't like them.
That's hilarious.
I think my problem with the bugs is like they were crispy. Like I think you would want them to be.
Yeah.
But when you put them in your mouth, the only thing you can think is these are bugs and there's guts inside of them.
No, I don't think that at all.
See, that's all I could think was that there were guts inside of the bugs.
I'm having like it's like flavor explosions in my mouth. I'm just like, this is so great. This is fucking satisfying.
Well, that's the other thing. I didn't love the seasoning. So that might have been really the thing. Because it just tasted like they dumped that old El Paso taco seasoning on a bunch of bugs.
That classic stuff.
And I don't like that stuff. I eat chorizo when I eat Mexican food, or I eat carnitas.
Okay.
Carnitas.
Yes.
And I do not, or carne asada, and I don't put taco seasoning on ground beef when I eat tacos. That's not how I eat tacos. I like to eat them the traditional way.
I respect that.
Like Peggy Hill.
Yeah, there should never be no ground beef tacos are going to be eliminated from society. If I'm in charge of the cultural Marxism, ground beef tacos will be eliminated. As even like a vegetarian, I just want you to eat like regular good tacos and not like the bullshit that we've made up.
Yeah. No.
I am vegetarian, but I'm very curious. Why are ground beef tacos wrong?
They're just awful. I mean,
I don't know anything about tacos.
I ate them as a kid growing up, and like now when I've been to Texas, I lived in Texas for a while, and I see like people take like a motherfucking cow's tongue and turn it into something delicious, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that hamburger ass bullshit. Just stop it with the $4.99 for fucking 2 pounds or 5 pound log or whatever you're fucking getting.
My father
like do the right thing. Like it is like just like it's one of those things where like us as white people got to be motherfucking stopped with that. Like you got to eat the good stuff.
My in-laws.
You got to eat onions and fucking cilantro on top of your shit.
My in-laws offered me beans and rice when I went over there, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll have some. I was like, what's the meat in there? Thinking they put some andouille in there since it's beans and rice. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It was just unseasoned hamburger in there. I was like, I don't want this. I'll not have this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like they put a tube of goddamn hamburger in their beans and rice. Like just eat the beans and fucking rice. There's plenty of protein in the goddamn beans. But if you're gonna put meat in it, put an andouille in there. Put a nice chorizo. Put a nice sausage, as they say.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna eat it, but like you should do it. You should have some sort of like. You should be proper about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I will eat bugs again. I think when you talk about a bug energy bar, that maybe is more palatable to me.
It just like tastes like fudge brownie, and like they got like a they got like a birthday cake one too.
It's like seeing them look like bugs is the real problem.
Oh, I like that.
I don't like that.
I don't get to kill stuff. I just from like feeling real carnivorous maybe. Like I just want to fucking consume life force.
I eat dead animals.
I don't.
Quite frequently. So I don't get a kick out of that. But it is weird that I eat dead animals, but I'm weirded out by eating bugs.
Bugs
so
don't
that's
bother
weird.
me. Bugs don't bother me. They're so stupid and lifeless.
Oh, Jesus. It's like fish.
You can just grow them in a fucking like fish tank, dude, and like
That's true.
an aquarium. You can just grow a bunch of bugs and then eat them, and they'll make you strong as fuck.
You're right.
Like I have big ass muscles from crickets right now.
Hell yeah.
That's all my definition.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 calls left.
Yeah, we do.
All right,
How'd
let's
you know?
answer these 2 calls. Because you said we have 2 calls ago. I'm counting.
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Sorry, we didn't mean to like ruin it with bug talk.
But I love bugs. I'm a big fan of bugs now. I like roly-polies. I used to roll them up into a ball, which is probably evil.
I mean, where I'm at, honestly, is if people want to, like, do the meat stuff, is just, like, please reduce it to please just cherish it and make it decent, you know? That's like, the disconnect with the taco thing. Like, if you're going to fucking take a pig and cut it up right and make some good-ass fucking Mexican food, please do that. But do not buy the cheapest hamburger you can fucking get and throw a packet of old El Paso on it and call it fucking dinner.
I know.
That's
Well, they
just
didn't even
embarrassing.
put the
It's a waste of life, man. It's just like they take away that, like, you know, that like spark of existence of knowing the spices or understanding what tastes good in like that fucking flavor realm, you know?
My wife once went to a baby shower where they had chili. They were like, we're going to have chili here. And they just dumped ground beef and tomato soup in a crock pot and heated it up.
Nope.
And it was like, that's the chili. And it's like, buddy, that's not chili. That person's a MAGA chud now, which makes sense with their flavors. The flavors that they enjoy to eat as chili, and then their politics. Like, those MAGA people just ain't about having spices.
Wow, that is a really unfortunate story.
Yeah,
My
well,
God.
What are you going to do?
All right, we got 2 people left. Let's see what they got to say.
Let's do it and then go home. Well, you're home, but, you know.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hi, this is Gavin from just outside of Chicago.
What's up,
I want
Gavin?
to echo what an earlier caller called in and said, Free Palestine. We want to see a Free Palestine in my lifetime. That would be
Whoop-de-whoop, Free Palestine,
really,
for sure.
really a wonderful.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to call in, though, and ask about was, you guys ever have, like, weird, like, heating situations?
I mean, I'm always
Like,
battling heat.
There was, I had
like,
a few.
we live in Chicago. It gets really fucking cold. And at my current place, they have the heaters bolted to the ceiling, and it looks like they're going to fall at any moment. And this happens, like, just, like, weird heating shit going on all the time where it gets cold. Blows my mind.
Yeah.
I you know, one time in oh man, this must have been like almost 10 years ago, I guess. We had a moment where there was a blizzard and things froze over, and my apartment didn't have power for 4 or 5 days. And my girlfriend at the time worked at a hospital, and we had like no fucking money in the bank, and we had no heat at our place. And we had no food or ways to heat it up. So we would go to her job. We would go to the fucking hospital, like on her days off or while she was at her work. Like I would show up there and we would swipe her badge to get dinner. Like we would order like a motherfucking, you know, a grilled cheese and French fries and swipe her badge with like a veggie salad or whatever. And we ate that way for like a whole week. It was a really wild time. Like I just knew at that point. I felt like I was gonna get in trouble. Yeah, it was in Ohio. But the whole time I was like, someone is gonna be mad that I'm doing this. But yeah, it just came out of her paycheck, and like, we had a roommate at the time, and he came with me, and like we all 3 of us were eating, and just couldn't figure out how the fuck to make it, you know?
Yeah, I've never been out of like I've always been very lucky with the power situation, like. It never really goes out for very long for me, maybe like a half hour. I don't know what I would do. Like, I guess I would just go sleep at I have a bunch of friends. I can sleep at their house. But, like, I also hate sleeping at other people's houses. And I like being cold. So it just depends on... But I couldn't have my fan going.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be able to sleep. I don't know. I'm always hot. So any chance... Like, my heat only gets turned on about 2 months out of the year when it's, like, really, really fucking cold. Because I'm
How cold does it
anti-heat.
get in the winter there? We get down to at least like -10.
Motherfucker, it's still
during the coldest
40
part of the
degrees.
year.
It was like 40 degrees today. Like even in April, last year it snowed in fucking April. Like this is a hell place. You get a very limited window of sun.
My heat hasn't been on in the past few days.
No,
My
I've
house
been-
is like 50 degrees.
For sure, man. I've been living off of I've had my air conditioning system like completely turned off. Like we just open the windows at night. It gets super cold, and like we've been saving money. But like, there's no reason to wake up in the morning and look towards like good weather. Like it's still pretty fucking atrocious.
Well, it's gonna be 70 degrees tomorrow. 75.
It ain't today, man. Motherfucking
nice.
today
It's
was
been nice here. It was 75 here too.
today my bones were shaking because it was 45 degrees out and I was doing a hike.
Yeah, I don't like it when it's 45
man.
degrees for the record. I don't like that. I would rather it be warmer, but I also don't mind it because I'm always hot.
Does your heat come on though when it's 45 degrees?
No, I usually don't because my house will stay warmer than that. I mean, if it got to 45 degrees in the house, I would turn the heat on. But for me, it's like if the heat, for me, it's like the house will stay pretty fucking warm over a period of time if you keep the windows shut. So I like it when my house is 55 degrees. I think that is a very prime temperature for the inside of a house.
No, that
and
bounced me right
I
out.
take advantage of all of the days that I can have a 55 degree house that I possibly can. Because during summer, you don't get to have a 55
See,
degree
that's
house.
why you wear shoes inside though, because you keep it so cold in there.
Right, yeah,
You know,
that's
if
probably
it was
why.
warmer, then you would be all barefoot all the time.
I wouldn't, though. I don't like being
He would never
barefoot.
bare his feet.
I'm always so hot. I'm just so hot all the time. I'm always sweating. I really think
It's
I'm going
crazy.
to spontaneously combust.
I've got it down to a science though. Like since with touring with him now, staying in the same room, I sleep in sweatpants and the sweatshirt, and like this time I slept like a fucking baby. It was amazing because I was just like so hot. It was just like in my realm. I was covered because the room gets so goddamn cold.
And he'll be sitting there like shaking and stuff, and I'm on top of the blankets in shorts and a short sleeve shirt. I like it when my skin feels cold. That's like my favorite feeling is to take my hand and touch my skin and have it be cold to the touch. That is just an incredible feeling, and it never happens. I'm always hot. I'm 100% of the time hot. Always hot.
I honestly, a lot of times I just put the blanket over my head and just breathe really hard until I get like a panic attack. And it's until the point where it's
I really need that.
like it's really hot and I feel like
Especially
I'm going.
when you strip down, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm going over the edge, but that's what I normally do before I go to bed. And then I sleep like a baby, so.
And I think one of the things I do, I'm just for a little behind the scenes about what my idea is behind the temperature is when I get into a hotel room, I go to the thermostat, and if I can turn it to 60, that's where I go. But most of them only go to 65. But if I can get to 60, I turn it all the way down to 60, and then I put my fan right at the end of the bed, and I turn the goddamn thing on, and I blow cold air at me, and eventually I have to get under the blankets. But it takes a long time to cool me down, man. I'm a hot body.
I think
boy.
you know what would be great is I need to get a nightcap. If I could have just a hat that covers my fucking ears and the top of my head, I think I would really be super comfortable.
The first thing that happens
You know
if
what else
me
I
and
need?
Brett ever had Chapo money is separate hotel rooms.
Oh, that would be fucking fantastic.
That's the first thing that happens if we ever get to that amount of money.
Yeah, I was thinking for traveling. I was thinking that what I want is that one $30 meal is really what I want. I want to have some sort of special drink, whether it's kombucha or IPA or fucking tea and a starter and all of that stuff. I want a really extravagant meal. That's what I want when I'm fucking out there on the road. That's the only thing that makes me feel comfortable, you know?
Yeah, I like being cold. That's what makes me feel comfortable is coldness and drugs. Drugs also
Too,
help.
that's a good one.
Those are two things.
Yeah, I'm with the drugs, and I gotta say I'm with Brett. Luxury for me really is someone else cooking my meal.
Yeah, I hate it
so
though
not that
because
much.
when you're on the road for
it's the height of luxury.
we were just on the road for 11 days, and every day eating out of boxes is not great.
It's hard to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get a winner every single time. And like, we did have some good food, but other times it was just grueling.
And you just want to be in the hotel. A lot of times I'm just tired and I want to sit down and relax. And like you just drove 6 hours, you don't want to go sit at a fucking restaurant, and so then you end up just eating out of boxes. And
Yeah,
it sucks. But touring's fun.
I could never tour. Vacation. I go on vacation and I take 2 weeks, and the first 3 days I need to just lay down in the hotel because traveling, even taking the airplane, I need like a couple days before I'm ready to do anything fun or be like an enjoyable person to be around.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. We're doing vacation later this month, or later in July. We're doing vacation, and I just can't even imagine what it's gonna be like to have 3 weeks off. I don't even know what I'm gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Well,
Thanks for calling in.
We gotta get this last call in, and then I'm going home.
Hope to see.
One
he was gonna
more
hope
call
to see us somewhere.
Yeah, that motherfucker
Shit, he's near
just
some-
burned in the internal flame of hell.
Going to be in Chicago, which means we'll probably see them because we're always in Chicago.
Yeah.
We do shows in Chicago all the time.
Perfect timing. We have the perfectest timing ever. We're going to wrap this up by midnight. Let's see what our last caller has to say here. I hope they're a gem.
A gem.
They better be. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Are you a gem?
Hey, my name is Winston. I'm calling from San Francisco.
Good cigarette.
What's up, Winston?
Hey, how y'all doing? I wanted to first of all shout out Columbus, Ohio, because when I was a kid, like all the older anti-racist action people that I knew were all from Columbus. So Ohio's always had a good place in my heart because of the Cincinnati riots and the Toledo riots. So
Yeah.
shout out to Ohio.
We have sharps here too. There was a lot of sharps in the 90s that were like doing hate crimes. I mean, what they called them hate crimes because it was against white supremacists. But it, you know.
Yeah. No, I've always loved, or like had a warm feeling about the city of Columbus. But second of all, I wanted to plug a conference that I'm helping to organize in May. It's called the Revolutionary Organizing Against Racism Conference. Third year we've done it, and it's in the Bay Area, May 18th, 19th. Free conference, and it's just a space for people to organize against racism in a revolutionary manner. And it's been really cool every year. The first day we always do it in Oakland, second day in San Francisco. So yeah, if people are either in the Bay Area or like want to come out, they should check us out. We have a website. It's roar-conference.com, and the Instagram is roar_ARA, like on Instagram. I don't know. It's a really fun time. Well, we've definitely had like elder, like weathermen and like Black Panther folks come speak, and then also like newer people that do stuff with like border issues. So I don't know. It's a really fun time. So I just wanted to give a plug for that, but I don't want to keep you guys that long. So that's all I had to say.
Well, thank you for calling.
Yeah,
That
that's
was a
awesome.
gem.
Yeah, I
That was a
mean,
great
that's
call.
awesome. I love that stuff. Like, I'm so lazy about my
Also,
activism.
if you're ever back in the Bay, we will. If you hit any of us up, a lot of the a lot of our little world of people out here, in the, like anti-authoritarian side of things, all work at service places. So if you ever want to go to very, very fancy restaurants, we will take you there.
Oh yeah, we want to get back out there.
Honestly, we all make enough.
We're doing a thing.
Sorry, I was like, we could just take you out.
We're doing a thing this summer in August that is going to determine maybe whether we get back to the West Coast by the end of the year. We're trying to figure out like a new special super tour thing that we want to do, and we want to get back out there and do stuff. We'll be there soon. We loved it out there, and
I saw you guys in Oakland, but I was like too shy/lazy to like stand in the line to talk to you guys.
You know what, that Oakland show, someone came up to me and handed me a little tiny bag of cocaine that they had done like the
That was very Bay Area.
No, they had done like 90% of it, and they were like, man, this shit's pretty good, like, get on it. And it was just like the corner of a fucking bag, and I'm like, you are such an asshole right now. Like, you should have bought two.
Oh, well, yeah. We can,
Why did you get me started on this, and then I can't go anywhere?
That is I've personally only ever done cocaine one night, and it was the night of the inauguration last 2016, and it was at the Golden Bowl. So, shout out the Golden Bowl. Because I generally am straight edge, but I was like, the world's ending. Fuck it. It was cool.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Yeah, and if you're going to be in Las Vegas in May, like I need a hookup for sure.
Oh no, I don't know anyone in Las Vegas.
No, I'm talking to other people who listen to the show.
On the street
No.
in Las Vegas, right?
No, I'm doing like all. Have you heard about The Secret? It's this book that really like untaps the potential of the universe. If you go on the internet and you tell people you want illicit drugs, they'll just like fucking offer them to you.
Does happen. I
Like
love
it turns
drugs.
out people like to make money from selling drugs, and they'll do it for you. So
Oh man, I should maybe. All right, anyway.
for the people that ski in Denver, Colorado, if you're a skier in Denver, Colorado, I need a bump. Well, thanks for calling in and hooking us up with like real activism because I'm just doing degeneracy here.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I really appreciate what you guys do because I actually decided to open my heart to wrestling because of you all. And my friend Juan, who is a gay man and is Latino, is who taught me about wrestling. Now I go watch wrestling with him. And, we went to see Lucha Libre fights that are really cool in the area. Where, like, it was a benefit for a local high school, and like half the crowd, or the whole crowd, was like losing their mind, and the good guys or whatever were like Mexicans, and the bad guys were the border patrol, and it was amazing. It was one of the coolest things I've ever been to. So
Yeah,
you
I mean,
guys have definitely opened my heart to wrestling.
the thing about it is, man, I'd love to deride it, but there's just nothing like it in the world. It's such a unique, like, live experience as far as entertainment goes, and it is so fucking fun, and the people involved with it can be so amazing, and it's like, it's just such a unique experience that you cannot get anywhere else in the world.
Well, and it's kind of like, I don't know, growing up, going to punk shows, having this, like, electrifying feeling of being like, this is a weird thing that just these people are really into, and that's cool. So, like, it's like that, or, being in the streets with your friends, or, I don't know, it's I totally get the appeal of it. And also, I remember one person was like, when you say wrestling is fake, do you go to, like, actors and be like, this play is fake, dog?
I always say that.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I think when someone explained that concept to me, it really, like, affected the way I thought of it.
Yeah, I'm always like, did you know Breaking Bad is also fake? Fucked up, but true. That show is fake.
I bought that friend of mine the comic book about wrestling because of listening to it on your show. He loved it, so thanks for the gift idea.
I mean, it's like, here's the thing. I can understand why people don't like it because it is kind of goofy, and it is, what people consider to be low culture, I guess. Is how they describe it. But like, the thing is, like, I grew up like watching it and I love it, and I think that a lot of interesting things can happen in a room when you give the audience input on the way that the show runs, and that's what wrestling does. That's what we try to do. You want to give audience the input on the thing, because like with something like stand-up comedy where their whole thing is like, with something like stand-up comedy where their whole thing is just sit here and listen to me and be quiet, or like a play or something like that. Like I try to think like, well, what's the point in even doing this live at this point?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
You're just supposed to be sitting and listening. You can do that on TV and sit in your living room, which is probably stupid.
Or like sit in your bedroom on your phone and do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you look at the,
But with wrestling, like, you run the fucking show, they do what they're going to do, but, like, they depend on you to boo the right guy and to cheer the right person and to like, they depend on you, and it's brave to go out and do something like that. And also, like, just
sure. There's, like, queer wrestling worlds now. And, like,
oh, yeah. We were going to
like,
go to
like,
that.
I remember I was in New Orleans, and there's some, I can't remember what it's called, but they were telling me about how there's, like, a whole, like, queer, gay wrestling world there, and then also New York City, I know there's.
Yeah, we were going to go. It was called A Matter of Pride, and it was a tournament. And,
that's right.
AEW just hired Sunny Kiss and Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is a trans woman wrestler, and Sunny Kiss, she's badass too. And Sunny Kiss is a I think, I don't know. I don't want to like speak for them or anything, but they just hired them. And like, the people I've talked to, especially people who are like into drag and stuff like that, they basically just think wrestling is like drag. It's
Oh, it
like,
certainly is. That's why I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's just like going to any drag show, which is like a thing I grew up. Like we grew up in this punk scene. I'm from North Carolina, and it was like a punk rock / queer / trans drag scene. So like that's just the world I come from. But I always didn't like wrestling because I was one of those freak kids that like 9 Inch Nails, like you talked about in the past.
yeah. Well, with the
So I was
wrestling
like, ooh, I
thing
don't like
too.
Korn.
I think people that get into punk, like, really, I think understand the ethos of indie wrestling and like hustling
for sure.
and selling their shirts and creating their character and like touring the country for like $50. You know, like I think
Yeah, like you like just like go around like basically just because you're like, this is what I feel like I need to do, not because you're making any money.
yeah, and maybe in the end they end up, you know, signed and making a bunch of money. Like there is that possibility, but like a lot of people are doing this because they love it.
Of the wrestling world.
Yeah. I mean, well, I like the only thing about the wrestling world that sucks is like getting signed isn't selling out. So like it's like guys that you like.
Selling out things.
Right, and guys that you like get signed, and you're like, great, now I can't watch them anymore. But
yeah, no one's like mad at like rappers for having shoe deals. So I don't care if bands like get signed to like. That's always weird.
yeah, I'm not like that anymore either. I was like, you know, if you see somebody you like on, I remember when Korn did that Puma commercial. I was hot under the collar about it, and now I'm just like, whatever.
Korn is an Adidas band, so it's you know they shouldn't have a Puma commercial.
Yeah, that's a little.
Well, if you look into like the early 2000s and you start looking at pictures, you will see that he switched to Puma for a period, and that's because they got a Puma.
When I was even younger, I did buy my first Adidas track jacket not because of hip hop, but because of Korn.
I did too. But Adidas,
it was a thing I've never admitted to anyone before.
Right, they used to make him kilts, and they used to make him those sequined outfits. But then when he signed with Puma, he just started wearing Puma shit out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, that's fucked up, man. Like, you were Adidas.
They like don't play the song Adidas anymore.
Yeah, I think they still did that. But I mean, yeah, they have a song called fucking Adidas. You can't start wearing Puma. You have to have some, like, some kind of
whatever,
thing.
You know, it's all corporate. Who cares? But it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, you should have a credence. Like, you should have some sort of code that you live by. It's like, fuck it, I tied myself to this thing.
Of course. I mean,
the song made me money. Like, I'm just gonna run with it.
Yeah. And Adidas
well,
is cool.
I guess I don't see these bands
Adidas
or like
isn't cool.
wrestlers as being like capitalists. You know, I'm like, if you have a strong ethos of like, I stand by anti-capitalist politics. Here's my argument. Yeah, that would be embarrassing if you're like, no, I do a Puma commercial. But if you're like a wrestler who's like, I want to make it big, then it's cool that you made it big.
Yeah, and I think like any,
you know, it makes sense.
I think, you know, if you talk to a lot of artists or wrestlers or anybody who does like a passion thing, like if for even me, it's like your dream. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but most people I've met dream to make their living doing the thing that they love to do.
Yeah, of course.
And aren't dreaming for $12 million in a fucking Italian villa. But I would love to have that.
Of course.
But
I mean, that'd be sick, but you know.
But
I
I understand.
Not the money, but the Italian villa is. You mean anarchists in Europe that have squats in these crazy ass places? Like in Barcelona, I've stayed in a squat that's like a former Guardia Civil, like the fascist police. People squatted their police station at the top of this hill near Park Güell, and it's this fucking giant squat that has like a giant poster or billboard or mural that says "Tourist, you are the real terrorist" in English, facing this like famous park. You know. So, yeah, it's like if you meet anarchist squatters in Europe, you get to stay in these amazing places.
Hell yeah, we should
Just
go to
free.
Europe, Brett.
At some point we will.
Okay.
I mean, also it's terrifying now because they're like way farther fascist stuff there, where people are old and bald.
Yeah.
You know, here
Well,
too.
Yeah, I mean,
The world's crazy, but yeah, Europe is great, and
Yeah, we're not doing
all
too
over the
great.
world, like,
We're not doing too great with the fascists here either.
no,
This
we're
place
not
is
at all.
lousy with them.
yeah, I mean, you can get killed anywhere pretty
yeah,
much
of course,
these days.
of course.
All right,
It's
well,
just one of those things I always, because whenever I've been out in other parts of the world, people are like, I remember when I was younger, people were like, "What do you support George Bush?" I was like, "I'm in an anarchist squat at a conference. Clearly, I don't support George Bush."
Right.
I was like, also, if we're gonna blame things on people, you have a statue of Christopher Columbus in the middle of your city, but
we do too.
clearly
Yeah.
we believe in other things.
Yeah, I mean, you need to take your shit. We're American, you know. We come from an awful place.
Of course.
Like, if somebody calls you out on it, you should be able to fucking bust balls with an international audience, you know. Like, I don't expect it to roll into fucking Berlin, Germany, with like some sort of radical new ideas about, you know, the welfare state.
Yeah, of course. But it's, you know, anyway. I just wanted to call in and shout out that conference and mostly show love to you guys and to Ohio in general, because respectable place to be from.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. And go to the conference, people.
Yeah.
Learn about
Please do.
anti-racism, please.
roar-conference.com.
Sweet.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, everybody. We really appreciate it. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope your Easter was the bomb. Thebomb.com? Is that better?
It's the bomb.
Just the bomb. Just the bomb. Thanks for calling in, everybody that did so. We're going to be back later this week on Wednesday. We'll do our live show. You can watch us live stream. You can just subscribe to the show. But if you want more of what we do, and if you want to make sure that like idiots like us can proliferate and like make more content and create new things and do all of that, head over to patreon.com where you can sign up to get access to our zine, to our bonus shows, to our live videos and all of that stuff. Patreon.com. Support the show. That's what we need. And like I said, you know, we're not trying to fuck you up when it comes to live shows. If we charge $15 for a ticket, it's because the venue wants $7. And so we have to. They want fucking 35% of everything that we do. So we appreciate the support that we get. And someday I feel like there's going to be this really chill existence that we can all get behind and not be up each other's asses and making people work overtime and stuff. Until then, it's going to be pretty awful, but like we'll get there eventually. And I hope you're down for the cause, and we'll keep tuning in each week. We're Street Fight Radio. Peace.